Exeter stomping on the bleachers. Low snap. The kick is good. Great move after the catch. First down and more. Now Coleman showing you the speed. Breaks the tackle. Still up to the 5 and in for the touchdown. Wow. He's gone. Gould showing you the speed. One man to beat. Yanoko's going to break. He's going. Yanoko inside the 5. He's over the pylon. Touchdown. We got a game. Pinkerton. Going to throw on the run. Weimer pulls it in with one hand, and now he's in the end zone. Trying to shake off a man at the 15. He's at the 5 there, and he's into the end zone. Left Hindle, short pass, big hit here at the line of scrimmage. Tito in motion, snap taken, Heening, going to throw down the seam. He's got Coleman in the end zone. Well, hello everyone, and welcome here to Manchester. Nick Anastas, Steve Beals with you. It's our 2023 presentation of the CHaD East-West New Hampshire High School Football All-Star Game, presented by the Bedford Ambulatory Surgical Centers here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. And got a pretty good crowd here brewing on a Friday night in late June here at Grapponi Stadium. The 11th installment of this game between East and West. Some of the finest that the state of New Hampshire has to offer down on the field. The West in the first ever maroon uniforms, jerseys, pants, and of course the helmet has the numerous decals on it. East on the near sideline in the home blues. But as we know, this is more than just about football. It's about philanthropy, it's about raising money, and it's about benefiting the children at the Dartmouth Hitchcock Hospital. And again, these kids really, Steve, deserve to be celebrated, not just for their accomplishments on the field, but more so for the accomplishments off the field.
Nick, this is an event that we've done now, I think, our 4th year, if I'm not mistaken, so that we've done it, and it's just never failed to amaze me the quality of the young people in the state of New Hampshire. These young men go out there on the gridiron and work themselves hard starting in January, finish the season. Seasons ends as it does, and then they start working out in the springtime and raise a lot of money for one of the most, if not one of the top worthy causes, the cause of ill children, and the families need to be able to drop the responsibilities and get resources and support while they go through a very difficult process, oftentimes to a very happy ending, and that's a great thing. So,
yeah, all in all, sponsors included, over $200,000 raised this year for the Children's Hospital at Dartmouth.
Incredible.
And one of those players is one of the biggest players on the field, Montana Hatchett of Hanover, 6'7", 275. The senior, Steve, raised over $3,000 for Team West. He's got a younger brother, Joey, who's only 8 months old. He's the nephew, actually, of Montana, and was born 13 weeks early. Was in for 4 months at the hospital, so Joey has since been doing pretty good since. And once again, Montana, the top fundraiser amongst many. And
when you think about the work that goes into that and the passion to do good things for humanity, congratulations to him and all the people that supported his efforts and everybody here on the field. It's just an incredible lineup of players as well as people, as you alluded to earlier, Nick.
And as we know, this game broken down by geography, east versus west, the 93 Route 3 corridor serving as kind of the dividing line. And as a result, players from all 4 divisions are represented. A lot of Division 1 down here, obviously, but all 4 are represented, and really stretching from east to west, north to south. Absolutely. A lot of communities well represented down on the field tonight.
Yeah, and before we get started, list the names. When you read down this list, everybody is here, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's worth noting. But if you just look at Team West, starting off before anything else, in memoriam, Nick Willett, the gentleman that we lost some a year ago, and just a tremendous loss. Our hearts and minds go out to, and thoughts go out to that community in Greater Bow and his family and everyone else around that situation. I think it's a wonderful gesture to put his name in memoriam in this game today. But let's take a look at Team West, Nick. Throw out some names. Never going to name them all, just too many. But Romello Hyde, you've been talking about him. Chuck Erda, Matt Sanasuazo, Trice Cody, Charlie Bellafans, Logan Sphere, the bull running back from Bedford. Go right on down. Jacob Baker, Toby Brown Jr., and so many more. Team East stacked up with Dominic Capetta, such a competitive quarterback he was. Drew Heenan. It never ends for Drew Heenan, just come off a baseball championship. Andrew Coleman, one of his connection guys, top connection guys. Right on up, Jason Mwangi out of Timberlane, Gunnar Jackson, Aiden Goss. What an incredible player he was. You know, Jake Fredericks over in Winnicott, what a stud player he was. Ryan Pemberton, and just so many more, Nick. Yeah. What an all-star lineup this truly is.
Yeah, you mentioned Romello Hyde of Merrimack. His head coach is the head coach for Team West this year. That, of course, is Kip Jackson. He's been involved in the game for several years as an assistant. It's his first go-around as the head coach. On the other sideline, Jimmy Lozon. There he is, the Londonderry head man, about to enter his 10th season with the Lancers, and his second go-round as head coach here of Team East. He's 1-0, led East to a 17-13 victory back in 2019. And more on the Lozon family in just a moment. But let's go down to the field where I believe we're set for the color guard and the national anthem here momentarily.
It looks like we got a minute or so. I thought it was Timberlane High School coming out in the far end, Nick. I thought they were coming in for a quick round. Those new uniforms are very, very attractive here for Team West, and it's kind of a nice change. There's always something a little different. You know, we got those uniforms this year. We're playing Friday night. Talk about that.
Right.
I mean, what an interesting move that is. As the crowd fills up, it certainly looks here like. And it's going to keep on coming. And for those who couldn't make it, we're just thrilled to come here and help out the cause and broadcast it live as well.
Yeah, glad you could join us. If you're watching on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We're on YouTube, of course, at FNL Media. Just to finish up quickly on Coach Lozon, of course, this is a cause close to his heart. He's got a 9-year-old son named Sean who, back in late 2021, was transferred to the Children's Hospital and spent 4 months there. And after a few blood transfusions and some follow-up care, he's back to being
incredible,
his active 9-year-old self. So Coach Lozon obviously playing for the cause here along with everybody else, but maybe a little more personal for the coach this time after having his son be involved directly with the Children's Hospital at Dartmouth.
We've heard that from so many different people that have been recipients of the quality care and then the resources and support to go around it, Nick. Think about it. You talk to Nick Valus, who is right down on the field as he always is. I'm always able to talk to him at the end of the game, and it's just really enlightening to see the sort of things from gas cards, hotel stays, all kinds of food and all kinds of other support that would normally go by the wayside if there wasn't a very sensitive and very caring group of people that understand what long-term care is when you go through a situation like this. And that can just put a family at rest so they can be with their child, which obviously for a young child who's ill and is hopefully on the mend, those resources can make literally all the difference in the world as part of that care, bringing it to a good conclusion.
And of course, this is the brainchild originally of our friend Nick Valus over at the Bedford Ambulatory Surgical Centers. Football player in his own right, a pretty good one. Back in the late 60s for Manchester Central. So this is a cause near and dear to his heart as well, and he's down on the field. So we're going through the player introductions right now, and momentarily we will have the pageantry and the ceremonies down on the field for the national anthem.
I've had many opportunities to speak to Nick and about his childhood growing up in Manchester. We had some conversations, and he just describes it so vividly of what it's like to grow up, in an urban setting where he sees people from all socioeconomic situations, and I think that it probably has gone with him and has a special heart for people that might have trouble affording it. These sort of resources. You can see the passion when I'm able to talk to him in the past about how much this organization and the delivery of these services means to him, and the effort and the time that's put in, and the staff and the direction that he's able to get people to come in and to continue to support the event continues bringing resources in. He doesn't do it to be commended. He doesn't do it for anything other than a sense of service. But it is worth noting the effort and the time that he and his family put in to this event.
Yeah. Well, as you mentioned earlier, this game typically held on a Saturday, either in late June or early July. The Friday night experiment, seemingly, based on the crowd size, is off to a good start.
And they're rolling in.
Parking lots plural, surrounding Gripponi Stadium are basically full, and the seating is filling up very quickly as well. Down on the field, hot. 80-plus degrees, maybe 81 or so as we approach kickoff. Not much of a breeze either.
No, kind of still.
Last year, these two teams battled in 90-degree weather, so can't complain.
No, this is
a year later.
Yeah, and hopefully as the night goes on, you get a little bit of a cooling effect. It didn't seem to bother these guys last year. If it did, it didn't show in the intensity of the competition. I expect nothing less. These guys are all friends. They see each other through all different camps and so on and so forth. But yet, when it gets on the field, the competitive nature of these guys really entertain the crowd. The last 2 years, Nick, have been a lot of fun to watch. What's amazing to me is how these quarterbacks and these receivers and the overall synchronization of the offenses and defenses comes together so quickly. It just lends itself to the quality coaches, and there are many of them to note, and the quality of the players and the ability for them to get up to speed in short order.
Well, some of the honorary captains now meeting down on the field. We mentioned Sean Lozon, 9-year-old son of Jillian Nason, who became a CHaD patient back in September on the day she was born, and Ariana Olmstead, a 14-year-old, who has been in and out of CHaD for 10 years. And, well, those three, plus the aforementioned Joey Hanchett, the nephew of Montana Hanchett, the top fundraiser of Hanover. Those are your 4 ambassadors here in 2023, down there on the field with friends and family here.
Yeah, the crowd is still strolling in, parking. If you look out there at the entrance, there's a significant amount of steady traffic coming in. So if you were to judge by now, Nick, I would say we're off to a really good start here as far as attendance, and that's just terrific to have. Kind of interested in seeing the strategy. When you look at Team East, I see a lot of a powerful quarterback, receiver, some combinations that actually work together during the year. You think of Drew Heenan and Coleman. Looking forward to seeing Capetta back. Boy, did he give us a show. We were able to do quite a few of the Timberlane games, Nick. That Timberlane Exeter game was one of the finest games that I've seen in a long, long time. It's right up there for me for both of those teams. They just put on a terrific show right down to the end. Either team could have won. And we have a picture of Capetta running off the field. I'm looking for some big things out of him today when he gets behind center.
Yeah, that was a 29-28 Timberlane victory in the Division I quarterfinals.
Could have gone either way. Same with a championship, Nick. What a championship we had this year. 2 great coaches just duking it out. And all of that leads up to here. And for these guys, these players, this is it. Yep. This is it this is kind of the cap off of the final opportunity to kind of get together and play each other. Looking forward to it.
We have 20-year-old Jillian Nason.
It's like John Barron, one of our videographers, and Matt Beals are getting some good shots here in the return video we see of these folks. John's actually right out there in front of the people being called off. So hopefully at home we can, and wherever you are watching, we can bring you some good shots and do the best we can to make you feel like you're here.
Yeah. Honing in on kickoff. Top of the hour here on the East Coast. And the official, Steves, I know you always keep your ears open during this. They've got some veterans down there.
Yeah, we're so fortunate.
And it's a full
in New
crew,
Hampshire.
full 15-minute quarters as well. This game designed to be treated like an NCAA game.
Yes. Yep. Why not? A lot of these guys are going to be playing and at that level. And we just came off coming to the development camp that Roger Brown and Jimmy Lozon put on, and we're able to cover that. And you kind of get a feel that the New Hampshire players are making their mark as they go on to college, and that's kind of exciting to see as it continues to progress. The rosters are up, so but this roster in particular, Nick, when you read down both sides of the just so many great memories come back this past season that we were able to cover and see these guys. I expect some good entertainment today.
Some history as well. The West leads the all-time series 7-3. That included last year's shutout victory of 26-0. Under head coach Robin Boquette. The MVP of that game, of course, was Joe Michael, who went on to play for Fordham. Joe, of course, formerly of Bedford High.
Yep.
There's Nick Valis, as we mentioned. He's down there on the field. The founder of the game and the founder of the Bedford Ambulatory Surgical Centers. Down there with the big check, so to speak.
A lot of sponsors down below, Nick. Safe Sports, the ambulatory care itself, Union Leader, New Hampshire, Steel Fabricators. Mark Renard's a great company down there. Been a big football supporter at multi-levels. And a lot of merchandise being sold. And let's listen in and see what.
Three big thank yous tonight. First, thank you all in the stands tonight for being here on this great night for football. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Whole lower section's filled. Pretty much from sideline to side, end zone to end zone.
You guys on the field. Team East, Team West, you guys are raising these funds and playing for the kids that you saw here earlier tonight, our ambassadors and all the CHaD kids. So this is kids helping kids, and it always warms my heart and Nick's as well. So thank you, Team East and Team West. And of course, the reason we've been here for 11 years, the founder of the game, $228,000 tonight and over $2.4 million for Dartmouth Health Children's and CHaD Kids. Nick Valis, thank you very much. Thank you.
That's again Dr. Joseph Laus of Dartmouth Children's Hospital.
Thank you, Dr. Lau. Now joining Nick and Keith on the field of the top fundraisers from each team. Representing Team East, Michael Sampson of Londonderry, who raised more than $4,500.
Wow.
Senior defensive end for the Lancers, multi-year starter. And as we mentioned, Montana Hatchet of Hanover is our top overall fundraiser at over $4,000. So those two working hard, going door to door, literally, for a good cause.
Yeah, you have to start early and really case your whole region up there. And both of these guys made a mark on their foot. Here they go. Incredible.
We expect when the fundraising's all over, that number will be closer to $300,000 in all. Thank you. Thank you for blowing my heart.
I don't know if you folks could hear out there in our viewer land, over $300,000 so far donated, and I know there's more. Sometimes it comes in, Nick said afterwards. And so expectations are high and delivered year after year here.
Yeah, the running total over the decade, well over $2 million.
$2.4 million.
$2.4 million.
And running, yeah. Making the difference in individual children's lives and their whole families.
Is the American Legion Sweeney Post number 2 of Manchester Honor Guard. time, we ask you to rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Here to sing the Star-Spangled Banner for us is a most distinguished gentleman who has 8 entries in the Guinness Book of World Records and over 5,000 anthem performances to his credit. It is our honor and pleasure to present to you Mr. Al St. Louis of Kingsborough, Massachusetts.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Well, there he is, Guinness Book of World Records holder Al St. Louis.
Still got the
Kingsborough,
pipes.
Massachusetts native. Over 5,000 national anthems sung. And you know it's a big game when Al and his stars and stripes are down on the field. So we are about ready for kickoff here in Manchester. Nick Anastas, Steve Beals with you from Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. It's the 2023 CHaD East-West New Hampshire High School Football All-Star Game, presented by the Bedford Ambulatory Surgical Centers, right here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. Team East, led by Jimmy Lozon, looking for their 4th victory in the all-time series, hoping to get on the scoreboard this year after being shut out back in 2022, 26-0. It would be the first East win since Coach Lozon was the head coach of Team East back in 2019. Coach Jackson gunning for his first win as head coach on the West sidelines. And as you said, Steve, both rosters just loaded with talent, loaded with experience. Really a coin flip here if you try to predict the winner.
Well, talk about Kip Jackson, a guy who has just done a terrific job, piece by piece, block by block, building the foundation of the Merrimack Tomahawk football team. And last year, you could see they were an upset waiting to happen against anybody that they played. The numbers are up. Got his guys in his view. Love it when he says it, hitting at pad level. And let's see if he can leave his mark on this team today. And he certainly got some goods to work with. They look forward to seeing how they perform.
And both coaches have plenty of experienced help as well. The assistant coaches.
What a lineup.
That looks like an all-star team in itself for both ways. So more on that in a moment. But again, down to the field here for the coin toss. The captains meeting at midfield. Okay, so Team East just won the coin toss and elected to receive. So Coach Lozon wants the ball first to begin the football game. And this was always my favorite part.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Yep.
boy, to see that, the size and the breadth of the physique.
You don't want John to get run over down there.
No. John,
our fearless cameraman,
he
right in the middle.
is fearless, and he will go anywhere to get the right shot. We have Matt Beals up top here, looking at the broad view over the field, and hopefully, that's a great shot there. Nick, you were talking about some of the assistant coaches. I mean, let's start with East. Steve Abraham, terrific coach, terrific guy from Salem. William Clement, guy I used to coach back at the youth level. One of Jimmy Lozon's longtime assistants, extremely good up-and-coming coach. Terrific guy, very, very bright. You got Jimmy and Andy Valis, Nick's both sons, accomplished football players. Andy Valis had a great career as well as Jimmy at UNH. Played college football. They're out there. Look at the other side here. You got Joe Batista, former coach of Merrimack, Justin Huft, Pat O'Neill, Rick Erda, Robin Boquette, still involved. Nick Hammond from Goffstown, terrific offensive coordinator.
And on and on. It's loaded on both sides. All right, Chris Messmore of Bishop Brady is going to kick here for Team West, and we are underway here in Manchester. This one is handled inside the 5-yard line, creeping up past the 15, but not much further goes the return man for Team East. That's Nate Pedrick of Londonderry. So here comes Team East. We're going to get a look at the starting quarterback in just a moment here. That's, as you mentioned, Steve, Dominic Capetta of Timberlane, 6'2", 220 pounds.
Game's never over with Dominic in the game on your team. He's just, he can run, he can throw.
And he's going to come out here with 4 receivers, 2 to each side. So Coach Lozon looking to spread some things out. Going to hand it near side to Drew Heenan, throw it back to Capetta, and he's got an alley. Up the far sideline for a first down as he's tripped up at about the 32-yard line after a gain of 12. So one quarterback to another here on the first play.
Yeah, so important there. Interesting play to start the game. Might as well get rolling quick, right? But that play is designed for you. It's very important for that offensive end to be able to block and give Mr. Heenan the opportunity to get it back out to Dom. He provided the time to do it. Good execution on that play across the board.
Tackle made by the linebacker Jack Peters on his way to UMass to play lacrosse. Of course, 3-year starter at Nashua North. Here's Heenan. Out of the gun, going to run up the middle over the 35-yard line where he's met by 2 or 3 different West defenders. Taken down on the turf at about the 37. After a gain of 6, it'll set up a second down and 4. They give Merrimack's Romello Hyde credit for the tackle.
More of the same we saw all year in Londonderry. He loves to go back, read the field. If there's nothing there, he loves to tuck it and run. He chooses great lanes, lowers his shoulder, and he'll go right through you if you let him. Also proved a incredible catcher.
Yeah.
What a great job he did last week.
Fresh off a state championship on the baseball diamond. Of course, he has a ring from the football season back in 2021. Here's a handoff, and this one is stuffed. Toby Brown Jr. met him in the hole. We know about him. Speaking of Nashua North, the 6'3", 235-pound defensive end clogging up the hole for a loss of about a yard, and it looks like 3rd and 5 is coming up here for Team East.
Number 99 is proven to us. It doesn't matter who he goes against. He doesn't just play up to, he plays to his level. He what an incredible job, just dominated the defensive line of scrimmage there.
3 receivers near side right on 3rd and 5. Heenan looks like he's going to double check this thing. Looking over at Coach Lozon as he's done time and time again. The former Londonderry standout is ready to roll now. The lone back is Calvin Lambert of Somersworth. Heenan in some trouble to his right.
Oh, what a move.
Looking for the first down marker. He's got it and then some all the way up to midfield before he's taken down on the other 49-yard line. Tackle made there by Charlie Maroon of Sauhegan, but not before East picks up the first down of the ball game.
Yeah, it's a good thing Charlie made that tackle, too, because there wasn't a lot of defenders left there. He had a cornerback and backside cornerback still in, but there was another 20 yards there if Charlie wasn't able to bring him down.
So 1st and 10 from the West 49-yard line here with 2.5 gone by. It's the game's opening drive.
trying to figure out who's calling offensive plays. Is it Andy Velas or is it Coach Lozon? Be interested to see. Both are well equipped to do that.
Man in motion is Brett Davis of Dover, a 4-year starter for the Green Wave. And he's going to cut his way, up the middle to about the West 44-yard line. They'll spot him after a gain of 5 to set up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, Jake Fredericks with a nice backside block there. That gave Heenan the opportunity to get upfield a little past the line of scrimmage with nobody even near him. Jake Fredericks, what a player. Watching him, I don't know where he's going. I don't know if you've heard, but he's certainly college material for sure. He's a real deal.
Remember that Winnicott Warrior squad that almost won the D1 championship back in 2021.
So close. Yeah, he did a heck of a job bringing that team over the years.
Went unbeaten before falling to Londonderry in the final.
Yeah, they'll be back.
2nd down and 5. We get the game's first whistle, and a timeout here is going to be called by Team East. So Coach Lozon didn't like something, and with the play clock winding down, elects to use the first of 3 timeouts.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to go backwards here, Nick, 5 yards. Jimmy's all about moving the ball forward, and as good as anybody in the business as far as calling timeouts at the right reasons, using them properly. Never seen anything other. Well,
as we mentioned, this one all about the kids at the Children's Hospital at Dartmouth. 11th entry of this game, which started back in 2012. Since then, nearly $2.5 million raised, including over $200,000 this year, approaching $300,000. And the first ever Friday night edition of the CHaD East West High School Football All-Star Game. And as you can see, the crowd has turned out, and basically Grapponi Stadium is full at this point.
And people still coming in.
Yep.
So it's cool. It feels cooler. It's already, I think it's dropped down a few degrees. So that'll be good for the players.
The grandstand's in the shade, which helps as well. All right, a little bit of a pistol look here. It's a play-action pass. Heenan going to go deep, and a grab is made at the 10-yard line. Skying catch by his Londonderry teammate Andrew Coleman, the 5'11", 160-pound wideout, able to out-jump a couple of defensive backs there, and now a 1st and goal is cooking at the 7-yard line.
Yeah, that just was a really, really well-thrown ball. Chuck Erta had a little bit, looks like he had a little trouble getting back, turned around, and the ball sailed over his outstretched arms, but that was just a great pull-in by Andrew Coleman. But these guys have been doing it we've seen it for 2 years. We saw the championship 2 years ago, and the championship this year, same situation. They get it done. What a terrific pass.
Those two hooked up for 2 scores during the 2021 championship victory over Winnicott. Quarterback draw on 1st and goal, not going to produce much, as a wall of maroon
Emery Ray
was right in there, including Emery Ray. Steve, I know you've got a soft spot for the 5'10", 320-pound defensive tackle.
I do. I just think Emery's a terrific, terrific player. Defensive lineman, when you're in the center there, he's a double. He'll block 2 gaps, and he'll take on 2 guys at once. And what that does is frees up your outer defensive lineman to go one-on-one or maybe allows you to do stunts. But never forget watching him throughout the year. What a terrific play to watch.
All right, now it's Capetta back at quarterback. He runs right side. He's trying to sniff out the goal line. Lunging on his way to the ground. He's going to come up just shy of the goal line. They'll spot him just inches away. And now a 3rd down and goal coming. Now over 5 minutes gone off the clock. A lengthy opening drive for East. Quick huddle. Trying to punch this in. They're going to stay with Capetta. High snap, in and out of the hands of Capetta. Ball on the ground, and the West has it. It's a turnover. Coming up with the football is Parker Bromley of Bedford, and the West defense is able to stand tall and take over.
Watch Emery Ray. I hate to say it. Watch Emery. I love to say it, actually. Emery Gray here at nose tackle. Watch him. You're going to see him stuff. Here we go right here. Watch number 78 in the middle. Completely takes on, stuffs everybody. I mean, I know the ball was overthrown, but there was nothing straight up the middle on both gaps. What a terrific job he does.
So West, on their first possession, backed up at their own 12-yard line. They fake the handoff to Colby Snow. They keep it with the quarterback, and that is not going to happen.
Yeah, I think they'll stay conservative here, deep in their own zone. That was a great turnover for the West there. I would imagine that Kip will remain pretty conservative unless he sees something else. But, boy, big, just terrific play by the defensive line there.
Matt Sanasuazo is a name you should be familiar with.
What a
Bishop
player.
Girton standout. That quarterback here, no surprise. But nothing on that first rush. Second down and 10. Shotgun snap. They're going to throw a screen. Here is Colby Snow. And he's going to somersault his way up over the 15-yard line. Good tackle around the waist made by Team East Jake Travis of Pelham.
Great job by Owen Kelly on the block to give him the yardage that they were able to get. So important whether they get a first down or not, that last play. They were able to get it out of their zone, so the punters it will be pretty close, if not in beyond the goal line. That's good.
West playing with a bit of pace here. Another short huddle. And now Sanasuazo in communication with the sideline.
Kip likes to roll it. He likes to roll fast. No question about it. Likes a fast-paced.
The back is high to the right of Sanasuazo. There's a tight end and a wing back to the left. They're going to roll Sanasuazo to the right. He's got some time. He throws on the run. He's got a man for a first down. Catch made along the sideline by Owen Kelly of Manchester Central, the 6'4", 200-pound wideout, able to move the chains for Team West.
Did a nice job. Did a great block here. Nick down on the lower side here, and then goes out, receives a pass, gets a first down. So Owen Kelly checking in, one of Ryan Ray's receivers.
And one of a few Manchester Central players on this Team West roster. Sanasuazo on first down, going to hand to his teammate Charlie Bellavance. Or no, that was a quarterback keeper, excuse me.
If that's Charlie, he lost a lot of weight. I'll tell you that. Nothing against Charlie. He's all bulk and bull. I'll tell you, he was a fun guy to watch. What a terrific player. And played hurt a good part of the season.
And the two Cardinals
great to see him healthy
in the backfield together.
Great to see him healthy.
Second down and 5 after the 5-yard pickup by Sanasuazo. Meanwhile, it looks like a little bit of pressure coming here off the edge for Team East. They're going to hand to Bellavance this time, and he's going to come up short. Maybe a 2-yard gain up to about the 35-yard line, looking for the 36. So a third down and 1 on the way as we hit the midway point of this first quarter.
A lot of great running backs this past year. You think of, so many of them. I mean, just terrific running backs, and some great running backs coming back. But Charlie Bellavance, one thing, likes to bowl you right over. He'll take you right on.
Man in motion on 3rd and 1 is Snow. They hand to him, and look out.
What a play. Who's that? Number 20.
That's Team East's Evan Korosky of Kennett, one of the 4 captains. Able to shoot through one of the gaps there for a tackle in the backfield. It's a loss of 4. A 4th down and 6 means punt time for Team West.
See on the replay here, the big part of this, Nick, is to be able to stay square to the line and shed your blocker, and that's exactly what he did there. What a terrific job.
So here is Bellavance standing at his own 15-yard line. Not Bellavance, rather, but Jacob Baker of BG. This on the return is Nolan Bleakley of Exeter. He's not going to get far. Now a flag is thrown late. It's after the tackle was made. The flag is down at midfield. It'll be the game's first penalty.
This may be very well a fair catch that he chose to run, because it looked to me like because all the defenders were backing off. He did gesture that, whether he meant to or not. I think that might be what the call's about. And Coach Lozon just went out to find out what it was, and seems to be okay with the call. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
Well, as okay as they can be, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a block in the back.
It's a block in the back, so it's not that. So
either way, it's a penalty against Team East here. Right? Was it on the return?
No.
Or it's against Team West.
It's against Team West.
It's against the kick team.
So it had nothing to do with what I thought was the appearance. You can see the defense reacting that way as well, but officials were right there, did not see it that way.
All right, so the ball at midfield, excellent starting field position for Team East, but this one blown dead before it gets off the ground. As apparently the officials were not quite ready.
Yeah, so it's officials blew the whistle.
Just over 6 minutes remaining here. Scoreless first quarter. Team East able to drive deep into the red zone.
Almost a trip's right.
But turn the ball over on an errant snap their first go-round. They're going to run an east-west run that won't make the corner.
Yeah.
Good tackle there on the edge by West, Chuck Erda of Milford. And we know the Erda name. He's had 3 older brothers. All play quarterback at Milford and all play in this game.
Yeah.
Chuck, of course, he was a ball boy originally, Steve, at this game, back as a youngster in 2012, along with his teammate at Milford, Trice Cody, who was also in the game a decade later.
Yeah, who really impressed me. I saw the game against up in Lebanon. I was able to watch that on YCN Network, and really saw Trice and Jack. Wow.
There's a draw for Heenan. Not going to get much. Across midfield, down to the West, 47-yard line for a gain of 3.
West defense came to play today, though, Nick. Both really defenses. You can see they're
Ryan Turley of Merrimack giving credit for the tackle, the 6'5", 250-pound defensive tackle.
Yeah, give credit a couple plays ago there to the defensive end work by Team West, doing a terrific job containing Drew Heenan. Definitely taken a strong outside position to stop him from running on the outside, and they're going to trust their good linebackers up the middle to take him on.
So 3rd and 7 coming here. Inside of 5 minutes, first quarter. East trying to move the chains. Will they go back to the air? Heenan looking left, a quick throw. It's near the stick. It's caught by Coleman. Erda's right on his back.
I think he's short, though.
And the tackle is going to be made inbounds just shy of the first down marker. It looks like a solid yard, maybe a yard and a half. So a 4th down on the way.
Ooh.
And decision time here for Coach Lozon.
Tough spot there. They
looks like a full 2 yards in the
2
end.
yards, yeah. I thought he got down to the 41, Nick, but they were right there. So let's see what they do here.
Yeah, the football.
This could change the 2 yards. They probably go for it, Nick, but it could change the decision here.
Not much to gain on a punt.
Not really. No.
So they will leave the offense on the field. Heenan going to spread it out again. 2 receivers each side. 3 down linemen for Team West. Heenan calls his own number, tucks and runs, got a first down as he's inside the 35 before it's all said and done. Heenan able to move the chains on 4th down for Team East.
He's got tremendous vision. It's why he's a catcher. He sees the field no matter what sport he's playing. Watch the assessment here, Nick. How he reads the field, and he sees plays as it develops, and he always chooses the right lane. If there's any yardage to be gained, he finds it. What a terrific job. Here you go right here. Watch Drew in this situation. He reads the field. He sees how the blocks are developing. Number 68 again.
That's his teammate in Londonderry, Jake Cenas.
Yeah, what a great job.
Tackle was made there in the end by Concord's.
Oh, what a nice
Vonnie Duncan. Look out, a helmet goes flying.
Nice dodge there.
Tackle made just outside the 30-yard line, and somebody lost some headgear down there for Team East. Coleman, his 3rd catch already. By the way, that was Michael Sampson of Londonderry who briefly lost the helmet. He's going to jog off the field for a play.
Was that Coleman? Yeah, that was Coleman, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
3 catches already in this first quarter.
Great chemistry between these guys.
Inside of 3 minutes, East trying to get on the board if they can here on drive number 2, 2nd down and 6. And again, Heenan looking over at Coach Lozon.
Yep. Looks to me like they're moving the play calling around a little bit.
Heenan rolls right, eyes downfield, throws a dart down the middle. It's caught. Again, is that Coleman for his 4th catch? It is,
no,
just outside. No, it's
number
not.
12.
That's Jake Cawthorn.
Yep.
Of
From Pelham. Wow, what a powerhouse they were.
Yeah. How about this about Pelham? They've got 4 kids on Team East, Steve.
Yeah.
They have collectively not lost a game since 2nd grade. Of course, they're coming off a state championship in both football and basketball as well. All 4 of those kids played
a great core
on the basketball team.
Great core. A lot of pride, a lot of passion for sports at Pelham High School.
But that's quite a class.
It sure is.
For sure.
It sure is. And, boy, I saw the replay on the Division Division II championship, and were able to put together a win against a very solid Souhegan Sabre football team. That just shows you how good Pelham was to take on Robin Bouquet's group and be successful. That's not an easy task.
1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Again, they're going to stack it up left side. They're going to bring a man in motion. They are going to fake the handoff, keep it with Heenan. He goes up the middle, and he's inside the 10-yard line. It's down to about the 6 before he's tackled.
Yeah.
It'll be 2nd down coming up.
Drew's like having 2 players on the field, arguably 3. Not only is it just his raw decision-making, but watch the hole that he chooses to go through. He always chooses the right place. You never get a square hit on him. He's always so good at grabbing that extra 2.5 yards after the initial hit, Nick. He's just a special player. And a
little bit of a shimmy once he gets to the 2nd level as well. That's
we did
tough to locate. Jack Peters, by the way, another tackle for Team West.
Yeah, Jack Peters, another guy who's just a tremendous athlete. Going to play lacrosse.
Yeah.
At UMass. I had heard that last week.
Final minute here, first quarter. Jack. East trying to get on the board. They still got a little bit of room to pick up a 1st down inside the 2-yard line. Wow. They're going to throw it near side. This is Davis, who's going to throw it into the end zone, but miss his target.
Yeah,
tried to hook up with Jaden Wangi in the corner, but overthrows the Timberlane Owl, and now a 3rd down and about 4 on the way from the 6-yard line.
That's very disciplined coverage by number 15, Owen Walton out of Bow, and number 23, Trice Cody.
Yep.
Tremendous discipline with those young men staying. Didn't come up. They were in exactly the right spot, and they forced that pass a little high because they had it underneath. Great job.
Trice Cody, of course, the son of Travis Cody.
Yep.
Former head coach at both Manchester West and Bishop Girton and Milford.
Terrific guy.
Yeah.
Terrific guy.
All right, 41 seconds remaining. 3rd and 4. From the 6-yard line. Team East trying to get some points on the board here late in the first quarter. But first, another timeout is going to be called, this time by Coach Jackson of Team West. Wants to get the defense in order here.
Trice really looks like he's been in the weight room, Nick. His overall frame and physique has really been built up. And went through some rehab and got himself in terrific condition from what I understand. And I was talking to John Trisciani Sr. on the phone the other day, and he was saying Trice is a real deal. He's just a terrific athlete and just a very cerebral athlete. Takes after chip off the old block, so to speak. But, Travis is, when he became available, as we know, Milford took him right on. Coach Jones took him right on and did a terrific job. I don't know. Is he still coaching there this coming year? I'm not sure, but Trice had a great
And again, both Trice
great season
and Charles Erter, 11 years ago, were on this field as ball boys. So they must have been, 7 years old or so?
Yeah,
6, 7 years old?
Somewhere around there. But you know what? That's a good thing to do. Younger brothers sometimes can excel after being around the environment, hearing the sights and sounds, and watching the game, and they pick up a lot. Oftentimes they...
Of course, Rick Erta on the sideline is one of the assistants.
Oh, what a terrific job.
On 3rd down.
Who is that? Is that number?
Nobody fooled there as the tackle is made right around the line of scrimmage.
It's a 32, it looks like, made a great tackle.
That's Peters again.
Jack Peters, what a terrific job. For Nashua, Nick, he was just something else. He was everywhere on the field.
3-year starter.
3-year starter.
Won a championship in Division I as a sophomore back in 2020.
What a terrific team that was under Coach Lorendi. That was just a terrific season to watch those guys, and then took on a solid as a rock Goffstown team, and were able to. That was a great team out of Goffstown.
All right.
And we're able
First quarter in the books here. They're going to switch ends when we come back. East, they got another decision to make. 4th and 3 on the other side. You are watching the 2023 CHaD East-West New Hampshire High School Football All-Star Game, presented by the Bedford Ambulatory Surgical Centers right here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. All right, so a 4th and 3 from the 5-yard line. East, it looks like, is going to bring out the special teams unit as Coach Lozon
Wants to get in the board.
He wants to get his team on the board first. So this one will be about a 22-yard attempt for the right-footed Ethan Moss of Exeter. It's a low snap. It's handled well. The kick is up and good.
It's good. Wow.
A 22-yard field goal by Ethan Moss. It's going to cap off a 50-yard drive. And Team East leads 3-0, 3 seconds into the second quarter.
Well, so important in coaching, Nick, to have a feel for the game and how it's been, and how does that feed in your expectations at the end of the game? And I don't think there's any question that Coach Lozon's looking at both of these defenses, foiling the offenses pretty well. A lot of movement in the middle of the field by Team East, but not able to close the deal for a touchdown. So I like the call, getting on the board first, and grabbing that 3 points. It was 4th and 4 or so, 4th and 3.5. Seems like it was a long run, a difficult task. I like the call.
We welcome you back here inside Grapponi Stadium. A sellout crowd on hand here, an 80-degree night in late June. Nick Anastas, Steve Beals with you. The 11th edition of this all-star game between East and West. It all benefits, of course, Dartmouth Children's Hospital, and it's presented by the Bedford Ambulatory Surgical Centers. East getting on the board after not scoring a point through 4 quarters last year. They were shut out by Team West by a final of 26-0. So that little milestone is out of the way for Coach Lozon.
That's a heck of a kick right there.
Meanwhile, all the way to the goal line, Colby Snow is going to cross the 10, up the middle to the 15 before he spun down at about the 17-yard line. Tackle made there by Alex Carroll of Pelham for Team East. So Snow is going to set up his team at about the where?
I think that was
I thought it was the 18-yard line. It is.
That was Kevin Tilley, I think. But no? Number 18? I don't know. That's not Kevin Tilley, so I don't know. So West gets an option, Nick. What do you think here?
This will be their second drive. The first began in similar fashion inside their own 20.
Yeah, very poor field position to start, I think, in all 3 efforts, right? All 3 possessions.
Second drive.
Yeah.
Their second drive here about to begin. All right, Santa Suazo in the gun, 2 receivers each side, man in motion near side, snap taken, they fake the handoff, they keep it with the BG starter, and he's got room. First down and more across the 35 before he's tackled at about the 40-yard line. East Matt Williams of Timberlane makes his first tackle, but Santa Suazo picks up nearly 20 and a first down.
What a competitor this young man is, Nick. We saw it all year long. Where would BG have been without Matt Santa Suazo? Such an important player on defense and offense.
Led the Cardinals to back-to-back playoff appearances in Division I. They keep it in his hands, left side, and again he's met by Williams, this time about 3 yards upfield. A gain of 3 sets up second down and 7.
Yep. Yeah, could have been gone either way against Pinkerton last year, Nick. That was a great football game to watch. Had a little bit of everything in it. It always does with those 2 teams. And a
good run.
Very good
for sure under head coach John Trisciani Jr. All right, snap taken up by the face mask, and as a result, maybe the throw is off target here to the near flat. Tried to hook up with Amari Almonte of Nashua North, but
Aiden McGinley said no.
Yep, and now a third down coming up.
That's quite a 3-down lineman on the defense, Nick. You got, what is it, Frederick? You've got, was it number 76, is it? Or 78? I got to figure out, that is a stout group right there.
The 3 big bodies in what looks like a 3-4. All right, the rollout, the throw off the back foot is incomplete.
Sailing just a little bit.
Tried to find Maddox McGrath of Salhegan, but that one ends up short.
Yeah.
And now it's after an initial gain of 22 on the first play of the drive. 3 straight duds for Team West, and they're going to have to punt for the second time here in this first half.
Yeah, other lines, Trevor DeRisi from Salem. What a great guy to watch all year long. Steve Abraham, looking forward to see what he and the
all right, here's the punt by Baker, his
the
second.
Devils are going to do.
This one a spiraling kick to the 20. And no fair catch this time for Noah Bleakley. And the Exeter stud, return of maybe 1 or 2 up to about the 21-yard line. Pretty good kick there by Baker.
Very good
and
kick.
As a result, East will begin their third drive from their own 20-yard line here with just over a minute gone by in this second quarter.
Not a lot of height on that, but good velocity getting it downfield, and he kicked it outside the hash mark, forced him to move, puts him in the corner there. And both teams are doing a great job on cover as far as kickoff coverage is concerned. Done both teams solid as a rock. That's hard to do. They got a couple weeks, to practice, but this group of great players are putting it together on both sides.
Keenan on 1st and 10, takes a low snap, explodes out of the pocket on a design run, goes right up the middle for 12 yards and a first down. Well, Heenan, we know about the dual threat, Steve. Likes to run, likes the contact. He's only listed at 5'8", but plays so much bigger than that.
Yeah, he just plays so much smarter than your typical quarterback does. This kid, we always tease Jimmy about. Jimmy calls him a film rat. I love that, and he just has such respect for what this guy does for homework in the background, and his cerebral element that he brings to the game is as good as it gets.
Evan Shabadi made the tackle out of the secondary there, the Bedford senior,
Slippery.
with his first stick. Meanwhile, nothing here.
He took a shot.
Took a shot is right as Chris Kotsifas of Milford came in at full speed to level Drew Heenan at the line of scrimmage. They'll give him 1, it looks like, to set up a second down and 9.
Yeah, I think he's going to come off the field, Nick. He took a heck of a shot right there. Drew is pretty much – that's just a great hit right there. That's just good, solid two-man tackling right there. You're going to see a great shot from Johns Cameron in the back. Bang! You can see that his body got jolted there. He's going to come off the field, take a little break.
John Frioli of Kearsarge in on the tackle as well. All right, second down. They go to Capetta here. Capetta has a little bit of room left side. Going to lunge up to the 40. Still end up shy of that first down marker, though, a 3rd and 3 on the way.
Speaking of another quarterback that can run the ball like heck, smart guy, makes great decisions. Coach Fitzgerald and Dom had like Jimmy and Drew, had a great relationship. You could see it on the field. He was coming off looking for what his coach. Coach Fitzgerald and Jimmy just did a great job with both of their respective quarterbacks.
Romello Hyde, the middle linebacker of Merrimack, with the tackle. And now a 3rd down and a long 3 here from the 40-yard line. Team East a 3-0 lead here with just over 3 minutes gone by second quarter. Coach Lozon hoping his offense can continue the drive.
Yep.
First, we have a whistle. And what do we have here?
Don't know. Delay a game? Looks like delay a game.
Yep.
That's
a costly one. 3rd and 3 becomes 3rd and 8.
That's a quantum leap backward right there when you have that situation. How about the Timberlane Owls, Nick? Got a program going with the Tornadoes underneath them. It's been run very, very well for a long time. Coach Fitzgerald seemed to have in the zone as far as getting the numbers up, and good coaching and a lot of commitment there. And
look at the results.
Look at the results.
Right.
How about it? Yeah.
I mean, they go from a championship appearance in Division II. In
go up
21,
to 1.
they go up to 1. They make the semifinals before they bowed out against Bedford.
Yep. And that night, it's almost like they were just expended against Exeter. That was just an unbelievable football game from start to finish.
By the way, Steve, they're going to waive off the penalty. It stays 3rd and 3. They run a screen but can't complete the pass.
And Drew's back in, so that's a good thing to see.
Ethan Moss upset with himself.
Yeah,
as that one lands on the turf after bouncing off his hands in the backfield, 4th and 3.
It was thrown a little quick. To me, he wasn't ready. He was kind of moving and twisting around, if you'll see here on the replay. Wasn't really ready. If we get that inside the screen, he's not really in a place.
Baker may have gotten a finger on that, too.
That wouldn't surprise me.
It would not.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to see Team East's first punt here. Trevor Wyman of Londonderry He used to come out carrying the Londonderry flag pregame.
Yep. Remember
He's
it
out
well.
there as a dual threat. We know he can kick, he can receive, he can tackle, and here he is standing with his toes at the 30-yard line.
Something's up here. Something's up.
He's going to roll right. No, he will punt it. It's a high kick. It's going to send Erda back. He catches at the 20, but he may have signaled for a fair catch first.
Yeah, I think he signaled then decided, ooh, there's a lane there.
So no return.
He's arguing the case, but he's not going to win that one. I think we're going to probably see that if you look at, I think it's in the replay. Matt was able to get it in the screen. You're going to see right there. See, I see the arm went up there very early on, and then all of a sudden he sees a lane, and he says, I'm going to go, and
see if he can get away with it.
Official, as usual, right on it.
Yep. All right. So Team West, they've been plagued by tough starting field position.
Once again, inside the 20, Nick.
It's their third drive here. And again, the nose of the football just inside the 20-yard line. They've only been able to produce 2 first downs total so far against this East defense. Let's see if they can move the sticks here. Santa Suazo, he's got the running back Hyde to his right, 3 receivers, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, rolls right, gets the corner, spins, but is dropped at about the 22-yard line and planted by Jake Fredericks of Winnicott.
Any scout, you got to look at Jake Frederick. He has the size. But what I like about him is the decisions and the way he makes that first step. He reads the offensive set well. When the play breaks, he always is taking that first step, and it's the right step to take. Watch a terrific job right here with him bringing it in.
Here's Hyde up the middle on second
nice
down.
Run.
His first carry.
He's got it.
And he's up close to the first down mark at the 30. And the officials do say first down. We mentioned Hyde during the pregame.
Yes.
Of course, he's going both ways tonight. Defense, he's in the middle. It's his first carry out of the backfield here. But he once toted the rock 50 times.
Against Bedford, in Bedford.
In Bedford,
for one of the biggest upsets of the year, right?
Yeah. That was considered an upset, and that also was the last loss of the season for Bedford as they went on to go 4-0 in the postseason. Yeah. All right, meanwhile, it's Hyde's second straight, and again, it's up the middle, and again, it's a bruising carry up past the 35 to the 36.
If you get any upfield blocking and you've got Romello Hyde, and then you've got a quarterback like Santa Suazo, Nick, that's a set there you've got to work on and getting them opportunities and touches of the ball, because how do you cover that, defensively?
Just over 5 minutes gone, second quarter. East with a 3-0 lead. West on the march. Handoff right side, Hyde. Third straight run.
Wow.
And he's spun down past the first down marker.
Number 74, Nick. You got to give this. That's Kari Whitehead from Manchester Central. What an absolutely incredible job. Watch number 79. You're going to see it right here. Yeah, it was off the screen, but he completely contained all of the movement.
The fullback, KP Pearson.
What a terrific job.
KP Preston, threw a pretty good block there as well. Meanwhile, 1st and 10, and this one is blown dead. I don't see any laundry. We have a timeout. Timeout is called. It's the second called timeout here by Coach Jackson, as Team West wants to talk it over with nearly 6 minutes gone by second quarter. West right now in the midst of their most promising drive yet.
Yeah, and Kip was looking to trying to pass the ball outside, trying to find lanes and such. But this running game that's going on with these great linemen that they have, and then they got Romello Hyde and Matt Santa Suazo, arguably, Nick, I don't know if you're going to get a running combo better than that. Right. And they may be able to match it, but I don't know if you're going to be better. Terrific. I like what Kip Jackson and the offensive unit's doing here. They're willing to change up. They're willing to try out different things, and right now that's working for them.
Sellout crowd here at Crapponi Stadium, as you just saw. They're still hard to believe, but folks still coming in.
Yeah.
And we're just about at the point where it's standing room only. Gorgeous night here in Manchester. Nick Anastas, Steve Beals with you. East a 3-0 lead. They got the field goal on the first snap of this second quarter. That's a big hit.
Number 3.
Coming in out of nowhere was Trevor Weinman.
Whew.
And good to see the intended target pop right back up there.
Wow, that's how to bring it, Trevor. Wow. He just jarred this ball loose. It was a pretty good pass right there. Got to pull that in, and he just, talk about it pad level, Coach Jackson. Let me tell you, you saw it right there. That when you look at pad level, that's what that tackle is right there. None of this stuff where it's all arms. It's delivering the blow, safe, but very, very significant.
Trying to hook up with Cal McCullough of Bedford. Meanwhile, on second down, Santa Suazo in trouble, gets out of it. Near side now, has room along the sideline, trying to stretch for that first down marker.
He's real close.
Tackled in East territory at about the 49-yard line,
They're not
trying to
give it
get
to
to the 48. And let's see how they rule it here. It looks like 3rd and 1 on the way.
3rd and 1. But how about Matt Sanasuazo taking this guy just never fails to impress me as far as his game attitude. He knows what has to be done. You know, think about how many plays it was 3rd and long or whatever, and he just reads the field like Brew and gets it done, you know.
Of course, 2-year starter both on the gridiron and the hardwood at Bishop Girton, a member of that 2021 Cardinals team that won the championship for basketball.
Yep.
He was a sophomore back then. All right, 3rd and 1.
And a factor.
Yep. 3rd and 1, 4-man front. They're going to give it to Bellavance right side, and he's got it just barely.
Yeah, Charlie's going to get you that short yardage almost every single time. You give him any kind of a block, even a glancing blow, he's going to get body position and get that yard for you. Terrific job, Charlie.
Jake Cawthron with the tackle. And now, no, they're not going to give it to him, Steve. 4th and an inch.
What?
Yep, the ball just outside the East 48-yard line. It's 4th and about an inch.
I don't know. I must have seen a knee down or something. Boy, that certainly looked like he had.
I thought he had it.
I thought he had it, Ben, and a half a yard to spare. Something's going on here with the spot.
The official's going to talk here.
Yeah, I think they need to. Certainly looked to me like that was a first down, Nick, but
if it is 4th down, Team West intends to go
for it. We're going to get a replay. Can we get another replay? Is that possible while we're in the break here?
They're going to remeasure this, meanwhile.
Yeah, they are. Here we're going to get another replay. We're going to, hopefully within the screen, we're going to see he's got to get
to the 48 even. And he may be short, Steve.
I think they may have it right. Good for how about these officials?
Eagle eye right there.
Eagle eye right there.
We've got 6 officials tonight.
I think he's right on. An
extra set of eyes down on the field, and yep. We shouldn't have second-guessed him to begin with.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun. They don't mind because they're right.
All right, so
what a great job.
You see it there, 4th and maybe 2 inches.
And how about the head official there saying, hey, let's just make sure we got this right.
Yep.
Take an extra second. The game's going by quite quickly, so it isn't like the game's lagging by any stretch. What a nice call. I think is that Jason Patch down there?
Yes, it is, actually.
Jason's good ref. Had a lot of years. One of the best around.
All right, Erda is back in the shotgun, but first,
former Pop Warner director Jason Patch, and
we have a timeout here by Team East.
He is a very cerebral official. I really like the call he made there. Great job, Jason.
All right, if you're just joining us, we're nearing the midway point, second quarter, and it's been so far a game of defense and field position. East, they won the toss. They elected to receive. They drove the ball all the way down to the 6-yard line before an errant snap turned the ball over.
Yeah, but a good rush. I mean, you had Ray there just closing off the middle, just dominating 2 guys at once at the line of scrimmage. I think that center knew what he had at nose guard across, and I think that Ray actually had a factor in that bad snap because he's got to rush that ball, and I just think that had a factor in it.
We had a scoreless first quarter. As a result, Team East on the first play of the second quarter able to connect on a 22-yard field goal from Exeter's Ethan Moss.
Hey, you see the crowd. Wow.
This is West's 3rd drive of the first half.
Big play of the game.
And they're facing a 4th and an inch here.
It's a big play.
Erda to Bellavance, first down as he bowls his way down to the 41-yard line. All aboard the Bellavance Express.
You got that right.
As the BG Cardinal moves the chains for Team West on 4th down.
Charlie loves to play football. It's so obvious when you see the spirit this guy puts in the game. We're going to bring in, you take out Charlie, you bring in Ramonda. I mean, how about that 1-2 punch right there. But that's great work by Charlie. He turned up field really well. He didn't go take a lot of time running down the sidelines. He worked for that first corner, had an edge, blasted it open. What a terrific job.
Santa Suazo back in at quarterback.
Nice
on
pass.
1st and 10. Throws it to Almonte in the flat, makes a man miss. And he goes down inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line.
Here. Look at that. That was a flag down.
There is a flag thrown after the play as 2 players were squaring off in the backfield. It got a little nasty there for the officials' taste. Jake Travis involved for Team East.
Yep.
And on the other side, we had Owen Kelly of Manchester Central, neither youngster willing to back down there.
Yeah,
the tackle there.
I think those should be almost offsetting penalties, Nick. They were both going at it.
It was behind the play.
Behind the play, but this is just the. Don't think these guys don't have pride and they don't want to win this game. There we go. Yep.
That's the right call.
Absolutely the right call. Boy, I tell you, they're bringing in some heavy wood as far as the officials today. They're doing a terrific job. Flawless so far.
So the football will stay where it is, right?
Yep.
No, they're going to pick it up.
They're going to pick it up, and they're going to put it back to the original line of scrimmage, I believe. Yep.
That's right. So no play. We'll have essentially a do-over here.
Yep.
But now 7 minutes gone by, second quarter.
Yeah, that's just a great piece of officiating right there. Don't give any team advantage. Both those guys were going at it. You know, you have to call it, but you understand that passion. That was just good, hard football. Well, nobody wanted to give in.
It ends up hurting Team West a bit because
it does.
It wipes out an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, there's no question. But in offsetting penalties, you got no choice. Yeah,
it's the right call. So first and 10, ball at the east 41-yard line, and now Santa Suazo awaiting the call, it seems like, from the sidelines. Coach Jackson going to keep his tomahawk star in the backfield. Romella Hyde is the running back. 2 receivers, short side right, 4-man front for Team East. On the rollout, Santa Suazo throws on the run. He's got a man, first down. Catch made along the near sideline by Team West's Maddox McGrath, the Souhegan standout. I give the catch there despite decent coverage along the boundary.
Absolutely, Nick. I give this West offensive unit with looks like Boquette's involved, looks like Nick Hammond's involved. I have a tremendous respect for both of those coaches, and Kip Jackson right at the helm. These guys are willing to change the game based on the talent they have. Doing a great job here.
First and 10. Santa Suazo again going to throw on the run. It's up in the air, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 2-yard line by Jake Cawthron of Pelham.
It's a game changer right there.
Able to box out. It looked like the wide receiver. The basketball player goes up and makes the play for Team East.
It's more than that, Nick. It is that and more. Watch the route, the defensive route that he takes. He follows. He actually kind of boxes him out of the play, as you said, absolutely. But watch which side he turns on. It's so important to make the right turn depending on where the ball was. He goes down, follows him out, backs up, turns to the outside forward, and he's in great position.
Short-handed as well.
Short-handed.
And we mentioned this Pelham squad, all 4 players in the game were also basketball players. Yeah. Cawthron was the starting center. And, of course, all champions at the end of the day on both the football field and the basketball
I don't know
court.
why you throw that ball in that position, Nick. You can't be stopped running the ball. It's working. Why do you throw that ball when you're marching downfield? You know, do that when all of a sudden they're biting down and they're not going back. But they've been going back into coverage, and their cornerback unit is fantastic. Don't know. I'm sure they'd like to have that one back again.
So now one takeaway each way in this first half as we meet just past now the midway point.
You always try to penetrate where you have an advantage, and clearly the Raimondo, Charlie Bellavance, and Santa Suazo connection was working. Keep doing it until they have to come into the box. That's when you make that pass. Looked to me like it was a little bit early, but again, that's easy up here.
Yeah.
We got to have something to talk about. Right?
All right. We've got, another pistol look here from Coach Lozon's Team East.
Yep.
It's Capetta. He's going to go to his right, and he's not going to get much,
coverage,
if anything.
These defenses are really coming up big.
That's Trice Cody out of the secondary, the Milford senior.
Yeah, Trice is showing why he has the stature around the league. Could play in any division if he wanted to. And, you know, the coaching by Coach Jones and his staff, you can just see it with these kids. And same with this Pelham team. They're just doing a terrific job, Nick. These Pelham players are Division II players playing against Division I, and you can't tell a bit of difference.
Well, they haven't lost a football game since second grade, and I don't think they intend to lose one here tonight.
That really hit you, didn't it, the whole second grade
I think
thing.
It's impressive.
It is very impressive, I would agree.
Inside
Let me tell you,
minutes.
Nick, the Pelham Razorbacks was good at youth organizations. You're going to find they're tough, they play hard, they're fearless, and they've got a great coaching group down there. When I coached against them, and they're down at the youth levels many years ago, and they're a solid organization, and they feed a lot of good players, and then Pelham High School comes in and takes over from there.
3rd and 3, Heenan. The walls collapse, and down he goes at the line of scrimmage. Not going to get there. A number of Team West players in on the stop, including Ryan Turley of Merrimack.
And including a two-side player, Ramondo Hyde, playing a little bit of defense out there.
Also of Merrimack.
Also of Merrimack coming up. So you can see why Kip Jackson has faith in his players.
A little bit of a tricky spot here, Steve. The punter is Wyman. He's going to have to stand in the middle of the end zone here.
Yep. So the defense,
to try and get this one off.
You got a turnover like that. You need the defense to maintain the better field position, and they've done just that. 3 and out, and they, unless something happens here, they're going to have excellent field position to get the ball back with only a minute or so gone.
And I imagine they'd gun for the block as well. Won't get there though. Wyman. It's a pretty good kick. Erta is back at the 46-yard line, makes a man miss at the 45, tries to escape to his left to the 40. And he's hauled out of bounds at about the 39-yard line after a return of 7.
Yeah, nice first move there by Erta to break that tackle. Breaking a tackle like that, that's what happens when you lift it since January, Nick. You just keep on building yourself up, and you can break those hand tackles. Watch what happens here, and he does a nice job breaking that and grabbing. He's got them down where they were when they threw the ball. So look at this. What a great job.
Very shifty, as we mentioned earlier. 3 older brothers, all played at Milford. Their father, Rick Erta, of course, is a long-time head coach, and he's on the sideline here with Team West as well. Bellavance looking for a screen. Does get it off in the end. Catch is made by Jordan Andino of Nashua North.
I think you meant Santa Suazo, right?
What'd I say?
Bellavance.
Santa Suazo.
Look, I'll talk with the Charlie Bellavance all you want.
So that's the first catch, by the way, for Andino. And again, it seemed like Santa Suazo able to make something out of nothing there.
Matter of fact, it looked like a 15-yard loss there, Nick, and he was able to feed that ball and get a 4-yard gain. That's a big turnaround on first down.
2nd down and 6 on the way.
Oh,
and
boy.
Another errant snap. This one forces Santa Suazo to the ground to recover. He pulls it in on the slide.
Good discipline.
The loss is going to be about 11 in the end.
Yep. And
now a 3rd and a mile on the way from midfield.
Well, these nose guards, Nick, are having a ball against each other. This is this interior battle going on with this line. These linemen are just solid stuff. How about Matt Sanasuazo? If you're a great athlete, the intensity, your sense is, pick up that ball and run with it and fix this loss. No, he did the right thing for his football team and pounced on it. And
3rd and 21.
To live another day.
To his right, Sanasuazo.
He's got room. He's
looking, throwing, tipped away, incomplete. Good closeout there by Alex Carroll of Pelham to knock it away at the last minute. Now 4th and 21 on the way.
These Pelham defenders, Nick, these are A-grade players here. These guys are really showing why they're so good. And they haven't lost one?
Since they were in 2nd grade.
Wow.
So that's over 10 years of undefeated football.
10 years.
All right. The punt is on the way. Baker's been busy in this first half. The BG star is at the 35-yard line. And back deep for Team East is Exeter's Nolan Bleakley. This one is down the middle. It's high. Bleakley signals for a fair catch and hauls it in on the way to the ground at about the, 20-yard line. That seems to be the starting spot of choice for both teams.
Had the ability to run it probably 15 yards. Jimmy Lozon says absolutely not. We're going to put our offensive unit on the field. I want possession of this football. Jimmy, always aware of time on the clock. Why would you try to run that 15 yards when you got 3:28? Get the ball, secure it. Don't let anything happen. Go in with a 3-0 lead or more if you can.
He's got 2 timeouts in his back pocket as well.
I like that call. That's how you win football games in the middle of the game.
Each team with a turnover here in this first half. Each team with a penalty here in this first half. It's been pretty quick moving overall. Heenan on 1st and 10, going to throw under pressure. It's up for grabs, and it's Coleman who rips it in. Coleman in a foot race at the 30, going to stumble his way down to the 25-yard line. A big hook up there of 55 yards from the 2 Londonderry Stars.
All promulgated from getting your offensive unit absolute surety on the football field, and that's what he did. Boy, he went downtown. How about that offensive line? Look at the time that Drew Hannon had to throw that ball, Nick. And how about Coleman coming back, very Randy Moss-esque, if you will. I don't know of anybody else that would come back for a ball that was away from him and make the catch, and not to be denied.
Jack Peters may have made a touchdown-saving tackle there.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt.
As well as Peters
and he almost
continuing to
that.
rack up stops here in this first half.
Yeah, Coleman's pumped up right now. He's got Gatorade in his veins right now. He's got energy. He's ready to go.
Team East going to let the clock tick down inside of 3 minutes remaining first half, hoping to get back inside the red zone. They'll keep it with Heenan, left side. He's got a lead block. He's at the 20. He's going to tiptoe to the 19 before he runs out of real estate.
Yeah, Drew probably should have turned upfield. He had a nice lead block, to your point, Nick, where he could have turned in that slot up there or inside the numbers, and he had about another 5. He probably would have had a first down. Who knows what would have happened, but he chose outside, and he still got 6 yards. So
it was the nose not
a big deal.
The nose tackle who tracked him down, Jack Lorenz of Monadnock.
Yeah.
Second down and 5. Clock running. Down to now 2 minutes and change here before halftime. Team East hoping to add to their 3-0 lead.
Ramondo Hyde in the middle playing defense
and offense.
And a factor. Nice
job.
job.
Left side. Moss not going to get there. Again, it's Lorenz on the stop. And now a third down on the way after a loss of 1, 3rd and 6.
Yeah, Lorenz making Monadnock Regional High School proud.
Yep.
He's coming up big for this football team. These Division II programs, these good athletes, star athletes, all-star athletes from Division III in that situation, coming up big and showing he can play with the best of them.
And we know
nice job.
We know that program out at Monadnock.
Boy, do we ever.
Is strong year in and year out. Three-man front here for Team West. Looking for a stop here on 3rd and 6. Team East going to double-check the play. Heenan going to bring his running back to the right. That's Moss. 3 receivers right side, 1 to the left. Roll out right on 3rd and 6. Under pressure, throws it out of bounds, incomplete. That was Hyde right on his heels.
He's
3rd down and 6 becomes 4th and 6 here with a minute 8 remaining in the second quarter.
And this is if you're a scout and you're looking for a football player who's a terrific workhorse running back, and then you start seeing him defensively run people down, Nick, with that sort of acceleration and gap shots and choices that he makes, you realize you've got one way or another a versatile football player, whether it's any place in all 3 phases of the game, this guy could play.
All right, Moss, he connected from 22 yards out.
That's a big play right there.
He's going to stay in the game as a running back as Coach Lozon elects to go for it here. Would have been about a 39-yarder.
Yep.
Coach Lozon wants a little more time to think about it. Going to call a timeout here. His second spent timeout. It comes again with 68 seconds to go before halftime.
I cannot tell a lie. I was about to say a pretty good cross breeze here. Little I realized this is a fan in the back of me blowing. There's no cross breeze. The trees are still. But Jimmy says that's probably outside the foot. Let's go downfield, and if we don't make it, we got a 1:08 left, and we'll trust our defense to stop him if we can't. But how about Ramondo Hyde making that stop right there, getting to Heenan before he was comfortable in throwing the ball, running him down, forcing him to throw the ball out, and that's a big-time play right there. That puts him, potentially back in the game unless they're able to get a first down here. This is a big play. Coach Lozon's really probably going to go deep in the book here. And try to come up with something to get this first down.
It's been a first half of defense and field position.
Yep.
Team East hoping to add some precious points to their total here.
I really felt as though Team West had a nice drive going down that field. Unfortunately, they got foiled on that interception, and but that was their time where they could have, They were just marching down the field, and it almost seemed like Team East defense was just struggling with the game plan that Kip Jackson was throwing against them and crew. And but that was an unfortunate moment for them. But if they can get in at 3-0, into the half with 3-0, or even better, who knows? Still a minute 8 left.
All right, Team East. They break the huddle following the timeout, facing a 4th and 6 from the West 21-yard line.
Big play in the game.
Heenan with 2 backs. Takes a shotgun snap, looks left, got a man in his face, throws it up for grabs.
Whoa!
Touchdown, Team East.
Whoa.
Getting underneath it is Dover's Brett
There's
Davis.
A flag down.
However,
coming back.
A penalty marker is down at the 24-yard line in the backfield, and this one may be wiped off the board.
Well, somebody blasted through. I think it was number 44, Nick, I believe, from team.
That's Cal McCullough of
Cal
Bedford.
McCullough, but it. Let's see this. Look.
Yep. So they're going to take the score off the board and back it up It is the third penalty of this first half against Team East, and none costlier than that.
Wow.
As it erases what was a 21-yard touchdown hookup between Heenan and Davis.
I think what Jason saw there was number 44 kind of being held back just a little bit. I couldn't really tell if it was holding or not, but he was right down there. We're going to see it again here. Let's see it again. So you got 58. There it is right there.
Yeah.
He's grabbing onto him.
Yep.
No, yep, that's what it was right there. Good call. Gave him that split second that he needed for Heenan to be able to get rid of the ball. What a terrific pass.
So 4th and 19 now. Offense stays on the field. Heenan again going to throw deep. Again, it's off target and incomplete.
Yeah,
tried to find Coleman, but two bodies in the area.
I'm just going to say the same
for Team West, including Chuck Erda and Maddox McGrath of Milford and Souhegan, respectively. So it's a turnover on downs. It remains a 3-0 game. With 55 seconds to go, Team West maybe with enough time to get some points of their own before halftime as they come over or will take over at their own 33-yard line.
Shout out to the whole Team West defense, Nick, but none of it couldn't have been done without Ramondo Hyde doing the sort of playmaking he did in the middle to foil this tremendous offensive unit that Team East has. This guy shows he can play both sides of the ball with the
best of them.
The best of them, and succeed to boot. So,
all right, how aggressive you think Team West is here? They're going to be getting the ball.
You asking me for me, or you asking what I think they'll do?
I guess it's an open question for anybody who wants to answer it. We're about to find out now. Santa Suazo throws incomplete.
You got a pick six in that situation. Everything can change. I think Team West has, if you look at it being down 3-0, they're starting to move the ball. They got a great team between the two running backs and Santa Suazo and Competa. I would not go too risky with 51 seconds left here. You don't want to give you got to respect Team East offense. You're in your own zone. I would feel differently if they were on the other side of the 50, Nick. You got to try to make something happen. But East defense has just been too solid.
Now a 2nd and 10 on the way with 51 seconds remaining.
Now watch them throw a 50-yard touchdown pass.
Santa Suazo, 3 receivers. Tight end left side. They go to the ground. It's Hyde up the middle. He's going to spin his way over the 40. And he's very close to a first down before he's finally taken out by Kevin Tilley, the safety of Winnicott.
Yeah.
That is a first down for Hyde. They will move the chains. Clock momentarily stopped with 44 seconds. No huddle. Santa Suazo ready to go. 1st and 10. Handoff. Hyde again. Left side. Turns the corner, but doesn't get much. Tackled 2 yards downfield or upfield at about the 47-yard line. Coach Jackson's got one timeout left. Not going to use it just yet. Down to 25 seconds. Clock still going. 2nd and 7.
Looks like this is Nick Hammond and Robin Boquette teaming up to call this offense.
Here comes Santa Suazo on the rollout, looking for the sideline. Gets out of bounds. Stops the clock just shy of the first down marker. 3rd and 1 coming up. Just 13 seconds now remaining.
Well managed by these two guys. Now they're in. They can throw to the end zone, and if they want to, no problem there. They're beyond the 50-yard line. Give it a shot. I like the way that they handle this. So they're giving themselves a shot, but there's no time for the defense, for the East to come back if they get the ball. And they have some great offensive players on the field that can play defense right now. So, you just put Santa Suazo and Ramondo back after the pass is thrown and act as turn into safeties if there was an interception. I just like the way they've handled this, Nick.
Again, 3 receivers set. On 3rd and 4,
He's got
Santa
time.
Suazo to his left, looking for the stick. Tackled, I think, shy.
I think he's shy, too.
Flag going to
fly. That's going to be 15 yards tacked onto that play, Nick.
Maybe a late hit here.
With 8 seconds left, they've at least got one play.
Well, the tackle, I think, was initially made in bounds, but it was that
You're going to see it here.
That extra fling after he stepped across the boundary here as we take a look on the way to the ground. A little bit extra maybe.
Yep. Well, he rolled him over and then
by Team East,
kept
Nate
on pulling.
Pedrick of Londonderry.
Yep.
So, Steve, now a couple of costly penalties here inside of the final 2 minutes of the half against Team East.
Absolutely. And
as
that
they
is
saw a 21-yard hookup for a touchdown wiped out on a hold call. Right. This is a free 15 for Team West, which may or may not put them in field goal range.
He's got a timeout. He can go downfield.
Yep.
And he can real quick and get inside the 20, so he's got one more shot. But it's risky, Nick. You got to do it quick.
8 seconds to go.
If you're going to do it. I think he'll probably...
See how much pressure Team East brings
Yeah.
as well. They got an extra guy on the edge. Santa Suazo goes to Hyde, who goes up the middle. He's down inside
Timeout.
the 20, and they're going to get the timeout.
Well done.
Just in time with 2 seconds remaining up on the board.
Well, if Coach Jackson's looking at his offensive coaching staff right now, if he doesn't appreciate that, and I'm sure he does, that's a great trio, those guys. Robin Bouquet, Nick Hammond, as good as anybody in the business as far as offensive play calling is concerned, and that's just a terrific job all the way down. Well executed, by the way, by Matt Sanasuazo. It looks to me like they're going to try to kick a field goal and tie it.
Well, they've moved the football, Steve, down the field now 48 yards in 53 seconds.
And have had their opportunities, Nick. It's just you got to close it out. And I did see what looked like the motion of kicking the ball by one of the players. I'm assuming. What do we got? A hawk up there?
Yeah, that's a St. Anselm hawk.
Yeah, is they
Up
import
on-
those
up
or
on
raise them
top.
out back or what?
Up on top.
Isn't that fitting?
Upright, you can see that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that hawk there, little birdie. You're going to get your butt kicked. But
certainly appropriate at the home of the Hawks here at St. Anselm College on the hilltop here at Craponi Stadium.
Matt Beals finding a nice shot there to kick up the time in between.
We may lose him to the Nature Channel if we're
Yeah.
not careful. All right, here we go. Steve, trying to tie the game just before halftime. This is Chris Messmore of Bishop Brady. If he can connect, it would be from 35 yards out.
Got to have a good hold. He's got
Good snap, good hold, kick is up, and with plenty of leg, that one is right down Broadway.
That is a well-executed drive right there within, 13
55
seconds. And then what they did with 13 and 8 left was absolutely phenomenal. What a great job by the offensive play calling unit, and they played it to a T.
Very good first half. 3-3.
For both teams.
Casual fans might say, it's not enough scoring. But
not if you love football. That's good football
the
right
real
there.
football fans appreciate the 3-3 score here
Absolutely.
at halftime. All right, here's the deal. We're going to take a break. When we come back, stats, highlights, and analysis from that first half. We'll look ahead to the second half as well. There's some activities going on, of course, down on the field in the meanwhile. So a lot to get to coming up during our halftime report. 3-3 here in Manchester. You are watching the 2023 CHaD East-West New Hampshire High School Football All-Star Game, presented by the Bedford Ambulatory Surgical Centers, right here, and only right here, on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. Our broadcast today, as it always is Back here at halftime in Manchester, we've got a 3-3 score between Team East and Team West here in the 2023 CHaD East-West High School Football All-Star Game presented by the Bedford Ambulatory Surgical Centers here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. Of course, we're presented by Beals Insurance. A defensive first half. Team East, they won the coin toss. They elected to receive. They drove the ball on the first drive all the way down inside the 5-yard line before the drive was derailed by a faulty snap that resulted in a turnover. And as a result of that, we had ourselves a scoreless first quarter. First play of the second quarter, Team East does get on the board for the first time in 2 years. After being shut out a year ago, they get a 22-yard field goal from Exeter's Ethan Moss to put up the initial points, and then held that lead all the way to the final play of the first half before Team West came up with a field goal of their own from Chris Messmore, 35-yarder. That capped off a 7-play, 44-yard drive in just 55 seconds to get Team West on the board just before halftime. Some of the stats, as you can imagine, pretty even both ways. 81 yards on the ground for Team East on 21 carries, 84 for Team West on 19. Team East did carve out an advantage through the air, 118 passing yards for Team East compared to just 30 for Team West. The punters were both busy, a combined 5 punts, 3 coming from Team West. We mentioned the turnovers, 1 each way. Team West threw an interception. Jake Cawthron of Pelham intercepted Matt Sanasuazo inside the 10-yard line, a big play on what was a promising drive about midway through that second quarter. Third down, Steve, Team East just 1 for 7. Team West is 2 for 6. And on fourth down, East 1 for 2, West 1 for 1. Individually, Drew Heenan is the high man on the ground for either team in that first half. The East quarterback with 66 yards on 12 carries, including a long of 15. Dominic Capetta, 5 carries, 27 yards also for Team East. And for Team West, their quarterback was front and center, Matt Sanasuazo, 49 yards on 8 carries. Romello Hyde of Merrimack, 6 totes for 42 yards.
Big yards, though.
And through the air, Andrew Coleman already over 100 yards on just 4 grabs. That included a long 55-yard hookup late in that second quarter.
It was all him. I mean, he went back and he went after that ball. One thing about Andrew, we saw that was he's, as we said 2 years ago in the championship game, Nick, he's just a great route runner. And Drew and he have a special chemistry. I'll tell you some chemistry that would have been lethal this year if they both played, and that's Ramondo Hyde and Matt Sanasuazo, and then Charlie Bellavance. That is a 1-2 punch, or actually 1-2-3 punch there that is just getting it done. I think that Kip Jackson and his staff have done a fabulous job on the run game, and the upfront blocking has been great. I think the first quarter clearly looked like East was in control, Nick, but the defense of West began to tighten up and give West some offensive opportunities, and they just did it. Thank you, Nick. They did a terrific job. I thought changing the dynamic of the game, playing to their strengths, and while East has been playing with his strength all along with the Heenan-Coleman connection, but West, started looking at that passing game, trying to spread the field out, just wasn't working, and it takes a lot of, I don't know if I use the word courage, but it takes a lot of chutzpah to go and say, look, these players are on today, and we're going to go with it. We're going to ride on these guys. And the one time that they tried to go back long, it didn't look to me, Nick, like the cornerbacks were biting down that much, and they went for it anyway, and they got burnt. I think they were probably likely to go down and at least get 3 more points. Could be a 6-3 or a 10-3 game. But let's just give these defenses, they are just, you get a 3-3 game at halftime with this kind of firepower and strength, you got some defensive players that are really strong.
Of course, it appeared like Team East had scored a touchdown late in that second quarter, but a 21-yard hookup was wiped off the board due to a holding call.
Great pass by Drew Heenan under pressure.
So it's been a defensive ball game so far. some of the stats individually on the defensive side of the football. How about 4 tackles apiece for Team West? Jack Peters, Romello Hyde, and Chuck Erda. 5 apiece on the east sideline for Alex Carroll and Evan Korosky.
Yeah, I mean, Chuck Curtis, he's not a big guy.
No.
But, boy, I'll tell you, neither is Jack Peters as far as stature is concerned. But these guys are so smart. They're so aggressive. They don't care about their size, and they just get it done. They're everywhere. But
Fearless.
I'll tell you, when you look at Ramondo Hyde on offense or defense, and you're a recruiter for college, you look at that guy, you say to yourself, it could even be special teams and freshmen. This guy has just got some. Kip's been telling us.
Yeah.
I saw it on tape, but to see it live here is really something special.
Romello Hyde.
I'm sorry, Romello
is the standout for Merrimack.
I think of Ramondo Stevenson. He's got that same type of capability. I apologize.
Some similarities there, but
really apologize. You are great.
Again, quite a senior year for him. We mentioned he had 50 carries in the win for Merrimack in the final week of the regular season over Bedford. He also was a part of that Merrimack lacrosse team this past spring, which for the first time in program history reached the Division I semifinals.
Big upset against the Bulldogs.
With a big final. Right, a big upset against Bedford in that case as well. So a lot of talent. And again, I think the big picture here is, Steve, not to get away from the football for a moment, but the philanthropy aspect of the raising of the money. Again, the CHaD kids are the big winners here again today, the 11th annual edition of this football game, all for the benefit of the Children's Hospital at Dartmouth Hitchcock.
If you know Nick Valis, he's a big believer in doing things in the private sector and making sure that we have an economy and an attitude of people that are working, that are successful, that are doing well to participate in private sector charity. He's a big believer in that, and this is a type of event that he believes in, and that passion throughout these years, along with a whole bunch of other tremendous people, too many to name right now, have built this. And I'll tell you, Friday night's looking real good right now to me.
Yeah, and again,
be interesting what
the
Nick
numbers
thinks.
Bear all that out. Over $2.4 million raised in now 10 years of the charity work by the players and sponsors, and over 200,000 again this year, maybe 300,000 before it's all said and done.
There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
Another great success, and for the first time, the game is not on a Saturday afternoon, but a Friday night, and that may have been a wise decision based on the crowd here in attendance at Groponi Stadium. Basically a sellout.
Exactly. And for those folks who are tuning in late, who maybe didn't hear in the opening game, what does CHaD do? CHaD provides services, tremendous resources to families for medical care of children that are in many cases life-threatening situations or very serious situations where the family has got to essentially relocate to be with their minor child. They provide services like babysitting services, for the rest of the family, providing hotel stays, providing gas cards, providing transportation, all of the things that health insurance type things, don't forget, that can bankrupt a family over a long word, and provide parents and an immediate family to be with their child that's being attended to throughout the duration, which can be a huge factor in the wellness and the recovery, as well as not financially burdening these people. And I'll tell you, Dartmouth Hitchcock, are we so fortunate to have them in this state to provide those services.
There's Salem Steve Abraham down there.
He's
alongside
pumped. He's pumped up. Look at him, very animated with Jimmy.
Yeah.
Isn't it great to see these guys on the same field together on the sideline?
It is. A lot of talent. We're used to seeing them, of course, go up against each other, game plan against one another during the week, etc.
But we get to know these guys individually, and they are tremendous, tremendous people. Steve Abraham, certainly not the least of those.
All right, Team West. They're going to get the ball to begin. This is Bedford's Colby Snow on a run to his right and a lower shoulder.
Great cover.
And gets drilled by Trevor Wyman of Londonderry.
Yeah, Trevor's pumped up today. He'll do anything you ask, Trevor.
Well, he's in a lot of ways the emotional leader of that Londonderry team, or was before graduating. He would carry that big Lancer flag, lead the team into battle, so to speak, before Londonderry home games, and wears his heart on his sleeve, so to speak. A good tackle there, a fearless tackle on special teams.
And let's not lose sight of this official staff, Nick, who was essentially flawless in the first half. That's not an easy thing to do, coming together as kind of a new group of a bunch of all-stars on the officiating side. They've done a terrific job tonight and given us officiated a great game for us to see so far.
Yeah, they've kept the penalties at a minimum.
Yep.
Which is always good in my book.
But call them at the right time.
All right, Team West, Steve, this is the fourth drive that they've had to begin inside their 20-yard line.
Nice run.
Colby Snow is going to give them a little bit of breathing room here out across the 20-yard line. Taken down by Team East's Aiden Weldon of Pembroke Academy. And it's not quite a first down, but a gain of 9 sets up a second and a short one.
This hawk that's going back and forth across the field.
He's still out there?
I'd like to throw an aerial camera on him. We'll be getting some great shots from the aerial side. Yeah. So maybe John Barron, our tech guy, can put that together. I don't know.
I don't know.
We'd have to get a pretty light camera.
Maybe a tall order, but that would be something. Second down and 1. Team West going to.
Just thinking out of the box.
Going to wait a minute here. Santa Suazo back in at quarterback. He took every snap in that first half.
Nice
Hyde is spun down. Nowhere to go as he's tackled for a loss of 1. T.J. Tavares.
Out of Spalding.
And, of course, the Red Raiders had one of their more successful seasons in a very long time.
Well,
jumped out to a 4-0 start.
Hebert, who has a story about CHaD of his own that he's talked about in the past, was a recipient of those service and can speak from firsthand the importance of CHaD. But, boy, did they have a great – you started out 5-0, Nick, in the season. That Spalding-Portsmouth game was one of the best games we saw all year. What an incredible year that Spalding had.
Yeah,
looks like a delay.
A late pick 6 decided that one back in week 3. Meanwhile, a flag here, and I believe a delay of game coming against Team West. No, an illegal substitution against Team West.
I was just upstairs getting a sandwich, which from NATO's, which is well known all over as a great sandwich. Saw Roger Brown up there, and he gives his regards, and was very excited about the camp that he just did, and was agreeing that this is the kind of football game that we like. If you really enjoy good, hard-nosed football, you don't need it 49-17. You need a good, hard-nosed game like this. And
3-3 again, just fine with me.
Yep.
All right. First down and 15 after the penalty. Santa Suazo looking over his left shoulder at Coach Jackson, and now seems ready to go against a 3-man front for Team East. They give new ball carrier not much room to operate to his left. First carry for Logan Sphere of Bedford.
Yeah.
You mentioned him in the pregame, Steve, was a 2-year starter for the Bulldogs and really a big part of that championship effort back in November.
Punishing runner, Nick, when he needs 3 steps. You give him 3 steps, he's like Charlie Bellavance. He's going to bury you. I saw Logan in the Wyndham game down at Wyndham go into the end zone at a very crucial time, and he's just a demoralizing runner. Has that ability to he's a painful guy to tackle.
Did not touch the football in the first half. His first carry comes here in the third quarter. Second down and 14. Santa Suazo rolling out. A little bit of pressure again. Going to throw along the sideline. Nearly intercepted. Broken up at the last moment by Alex Carroll of Pelham, number 1 in blue. He's been all over the place.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
Gets his hands on the football again. Forces the incompletion. 3rd and long on the way.
Yeah, I mean, he had a lot of pressure on him right there. That
nearly intercepted.
Who was that on defense? That
was Carroll.
Alex Carroll again. This Pelham cornerback crew, I'm telling you, these guys are first-rate cornerbacks playing at an extremely high discipline level right now.
His Pythons teammate, Jake Cronthorne, had the interception back in the first half. Meanwhile, this one is on the money. First down to Maddox McGrath, his second catch of the ball game. Comes along the far sideline on 3rd and 14. Team West is going to keep the drive alive.
Watch this. It is so hard to play quarterback and be able to be effective from your weak side. And Matt Santa Suazo, we saw it all year in the games against BG that BG played. His ability to be to be able to roll out to both sides and be so effective. And then if you decide to stay back with the receiver, he can come at you from both sides as well, running the ball. He's got it all together, and that's a big first down there for him.
It is a big first down. It's a gain of 15. When they needed 14 to move the sticks, they're at the 34-yard line. 3 minutes in, third quarter. Game tied at 3. West going to stretch this one out and reverse it. Ball on the ground. Santa Suazo picks it up, but his knee was down. They're going to rule him down at the 21-yard line. Big play again defensively for Team East. Evan Karosky continuing to add to his tackle total in the backfield there.
But once again, Nick, you're moving the ball down the football field, kind of going straight at him. and then you go east-west. This defense is just doing a terrific job controlling those outside of the tackles, Nick, on both sides. There's just so much speed, so much knowledge of how to play defense. It just hasn't worked yet.
Karofsky is the game's tackle leader now with 6, representing Kennett very well. On the left, 2nd and 10, nowhere to go.
Great
Santa Suazo spun down only a yard upfield.
Number 12?
Cawthorn again comes up out of the secondary for Pelham.
Something else, I'll tell you.
From Pelham for Team East.
So well trained, always maintained outside control. Look at him fight for it, gets upfield, turning that run inside. So important. Turn that run inside every single time. Where your linebackers, if you miss or he turns up inside, there's linebackers there to get him. Never let him get outside.
All right, they converted on a 3rd and 14 a moment ago, now facing a 3rd and 22. Santa Suazo has time. He's got to air it out. Colby Snow is open. Over the shoulder catch. Pulled in for a first down. It's in East territory at the 45-yard line.
Well, it's only a matter of time, Nick, that Colby Snow is going to check into this football game in some big fashion. He's just too great an athlete not to do that. Without Colby Snow, I say Bedford has a real hard time achieving a championship, and they were a great football team across the board, but this guy was special when it really counts, and he was there. That is not an easy catch.
It's a gain of 33. Longest hookup so far for Team West.
A terrific job.
Colby Snow, of course, kicked the game-winning field goal for Bedford in a 15-14 win over Londonderry. Hand off to Snow. Nothing much. The hole closes quickly.
Jack Peters feeling a little mustard on that hot dog right there. Hits Snow hard, and they're jarring at each other back and forth right now. You got to love that. After the game, they'll be giving each other a hug, but not quite yet.
Looks like Jake Fredericks got a piece of the ankle.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
To trip him up for only a yard gain.
You wonder what must be going through these guys who are like going to play lacrosse, not play football, that this is their last football game.
Right.
It's got to be very emotional for them, and they're showing it.
2nd and 9. Oh. Again, the pocket collapses quickly.
Yeah.
Sampson of Londonderry, the first there for Team East.
Yep. Nice stunt. Looks like Coach Lozon's done a little film check in there at halftime, and they're pulling some stunts, choosing, basically storming the A-gaps right there, Nick, and closing that down and not allowing that offensive interior unit to get off the ball.
You've only got 3 down linemen. 2 of them are from Londonderry.
Yeah.
The other is Fredericks, of course, of Winnicott.
Yeah, and he's played a whale of a game.
The big man over the nose of the football is Ryan Pemberton of Londonderry.
Yep.
All right, on 3rd and 10, they let Santa Suazo loose, and he's almost got the first down.
Quite.
Down at about the 36-yard line. Searching for the 35. It's going to lead him a yard shy. 4th and 1 on the way, and it looks like Coach Jackson wants to go for it.
Look at him fight for the ball. Look at him fight for yardage right now. How about, is that number 60 coming in there? Number 50.
50. That's, of course, Cam Zambrowitz.
Timberlane, yeah. That's
Timberlane.
Just talent after talent being thrown out in the field here. And everybody's checking in. That's just, I like to call, Nick, go for it in 4th down.
One of 5 Owls on Team East.
You're on the 31-yard line. You got Santa Suazo. They got 2 backs behind him.
Team West.
Romello.
Converted on their only 4th down conversion attempt in the first half. It was 4th and inches then. It's 4th and 1 now. Santa Suazo, a back to each side, hands to Hyde. Left side has a whole first down. And then
still
some.
Carrying.
Yep, he's still alive at the 25 before finally planted at about the 21-yard line. Romello Hyde showing you how to grind there. A big first down for Team West. And this, Steve, is a lengthy opening drive here of the second quarter. Already 7 minutes and counting. The drive began back at Team West's 12-yard line, and now about to enter the red zone at the 21 of East.
Yeah, one of the things you want to watch on defense, especially your down linemen, Nick, your defensive line, do they have their hands on their hips? And they have their hands on their hips right now. That's what a long, punishing drive can do.
They're going to bring 5 down linemen now.
Yep.
Hyde again gets the rock. He goes up the middle. A second effort, though, won't matter this time.
Yeah, that's Frederick.
Fredericks and company are there for Team East. T.J. Tavares Jr. of Spalding in the area as well.
These are great names we're hearing right here.
They are.
Guys that played a factor and leaders of their teams all year long.
Yep.
That's why they're here today.
A lot of consideration goes into the selection of the rosters, as we know.
Yep.
And it really is the best of the best. There's a couple of noticeable names absent, Steve. We'll get to that in a moment. As I'll give you a hint, Pinkerton only has one player on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Albert and Yannico, I mean, those guys
They're not here.
They're not here today. Top line, I don't know what the situation is there, but
I'm sure they were invited.
Yeah.
Inside of 7 minutes now, halfway through this third quarter, they stick with Santa Suazo. He goes up the middle, and he's got his team inside the red zone, just shy of the 15-yard line.
Had a nice discussion with Coach O'Reilly
coming up
last week at the lacrosse championships, and his team's going to be ready to go.
I'm sure they will.
But, of course, he'll say, we'll be okay. You know,
right.
I like to tease him about that. But one of the best of it is a big game against Brockton High School.
And Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire may or may not be on the scene for that one.
That's going to be a tough one not to be at, Nick. I got to be honest with you on that. But we wait every week, see what's going.
Yep. Week one will be around the corner before we know it. Coming up in 6 minutes, a clock killer opening drive here. And now a timeout is going to be called,
I really
believe,
like
by
this.
Coach Lozon. Wants to give his defense a little bit of a blow here.
Always aware of what's going on with his team on both sides of the ball, Nick. I really like that timeout. Hands on the hips. I mean, these guys have been expending it. I mean, there's no free plays off here. You're not dominating your opponent on the sidelines here. I mean, on the opposite end of the field here, Nick. This is crunch time. Give him a chance to get a little hydration.
Right.
Cool it off a little bit. Does not appear in the trees, Nick, to be any breeze whatsoever. So
no, it's a stifling night.
Yeah, it's a stifling
About
night.
80 degrees when we kicked off. The temperature has dropped a little bit as the sun has begun to set, but not by much. What's going on in that huddle, Steve, with Coach Jackson and Team West?
Well, I think in this situation it's about pumping up the offensive line. Keep it going. Keep chugging down the field. Get off the ball. Use cadence to your advantage. Remind the quarterback to do that. Basically, just kind of line them up and let them know that you guys are winning the line of scrimmage at the current time, and keep them positive. And then he may want to institute a play. Coach Jackson always likes to go quick. He likes to run it quick. He may be looking at a call in 2 or 3 plays they can run quickly.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
3rd and 6. He's going to keep Hyde in the game as the lone back to the right of the quarterback, Santa Suazo, although he keeps going back and forth. It looks like he's going to settle on the left. 4 receivers to each side. They fake to Hyde. Santa Suazo trying to cut up field, but
it's a big stop right there.
Yeah, you're going to be well shy.
Big decision.
Get inside the 15, but he needs to get down to the 12.
Yeah, big decision here. Obviously, he had got a field goal kicker that looks pretty solid to me from Bishop Brady, right? Looks really, really solid on that kick from much longer than here. You wonder, is he going to go for it? He's going to go for it. This is
Well, they're 2 for 2 on 4th down.
Big decision here.
This is the long one, though, 4th and 3.
Yep.
Snap taken. Hand to Hyde. Looks for the edge, and he's not going to get there.
No.
Team East. They protect
Jack
the
Peters
edge.
Again.
No. Peters is on Team West. That's Nate Pedrick.
I'm sorry, Nate Pedrick.
Of Londonderry, who was the first on the
Number
scene
25.
for the stop.
What a great job. Sorry about that, Nate. Terrific job. Watch him chase this. Look at him all the way coming across, holding on. Got a little support there, looks like, from, is that number 14?
Jake Travis.
Jake Travis. What a great Pelham again.
Yep.
Boy, I'd like to see the points against for the year total for the Pelham Pythons.
Maybe in the single digits.
Maybe in the single digits. I'll bet you there was a fair share of shutouts or single score games. These guys are tremendous.
I'm going to kick the stat of the night. The 4 Pelham players have not lost a game since 2nd grade. And right now they're battling for Team East in a 3-3 tie. All right, 1st and 10. An east-west run here for Davis of Dover.
And number 9
goes nowhere.
How about number 9 right there?
That's
Maddox McGrath out of Souhegan.
Yep.
Casing the whole field all the way out to coming from the other side to the hash marks, Nick.
Well, Coach Boquette has raved about him for the better part of 2 years, and we're seeing it now firsthand.
Yep.
As he's been involved on both sides of the ball, Steve. He's got a couple of grabs on offense.
Coach Boquette, one of the most fun guys of the coaching guild in this state. He's a riot, and he's not afraid to let me have it. And tease. He gets into it. He's a lot of fun, that guy. He's a great guy and a great coach.
Part of that
Who wouldn't want Coach Boquette coaching your kid?
Part of that kind of new school wave of young coaches around the state that have had success. This one up in the air, but too far for the outstretched arms of Coleman. Pretty good coverage there by Concord's Vonnie Duncan.
Yep.
And now a 3rd down and 9 on the way.
Yeah, he's
Team's got to be a little careful there,
yes,
Steve, deep in their own
I totally agree.
Their own
you got to narrow the playbook just a little bit here. Yeah, it's with 4:33 left in the first quarter. You're talking about Coach Boquette, just a guy that's positive all the time. Loves the game. Said, when we asked him, how's it like coming back to your old team? He says, Steve, it's just a dream of a lifetime.
Right.
And he shows it every day.
3rd and 3. No, 3rd and 9, excuse me.
Nice roll out there by Heenan.
Heenan's catch made. It's Cawthron.
Great cover.
An immediate tackle comes at the 21-yard line, about 3 yards shy of that first down marker. So, again, the defense holds for Team West, and a likely punt on the way here as the third quarter clock ticks down to 4 minutes.
That's why I like on that 4th down play with West going down there. I like the field goal with a good field goal kicker because this game is just the defense is just so good. Points are just really difficult to get. But on the other side of the coin, Coach Jackson has Romello Hyde and Matt Sanasuazo, and he needs 2.5, 3 yards. You can understand both decisions. No one's wrong. It's just, do you want to grab that 3 points now or later? Looks to me like they're going to have another chance, and the defense held strong.
Yep. I think he wants to trust his defense.
Trust his defense, exactly.
Continue to play the field position game.
Yep.
Wyman's punt is a wobbler. Erda a fair catch.
That's
called
smart.
in at the West 44-yard line. So this will be the best starting field position of the night for Team West, with the game still tied at 3:34 to go third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a field position battle time after time. I think that both coaches here are very much in command of the team, command of their timeouts, command of what they're saying, the strategy. They go in to make some adjustments at halftime, but it's just more of the same. It's just the offense just can't seem to put together a full-throated drive. The defense comes up big pretty much every time. And even the 2 scores are field goals, meaning you couldn't get it in the end zone. So that's been really the name of the game. But
1 turnover each way. Both came in the first half.
Yep.
All right, Matt Sanasuazo. He's taken every snap so far for Team West. He's going to hand this one off, and it's not going to get much. His teammate from Bishop Girton, Charlie Velavanch, swallowed up after only a 2-yard gain up the middle. 2nd down and 8 on the way.
It almost seems like yardage, Nick, is just getting more and more stringent. It's getting harder and harder to get. The offensive lines, I'm looking at just a little bit. Both offensive lines not quite as quick off the ball as they were in the beginning of the first half.
2nd and 8, rollout incomplete.
Yeah, got to finish your route there.
That's intended for Owen Kelly. He got a couple of hands on that ball, but couldn't haul it in.
But he kind of stayed in his. He really wants to run right to the sidelines, and that's what Matt was aiming for. Catch him on the way out. But now they're 3rd and 8, Nick. We'll see what they call here. Looks like is that Charlie Bellavance?
Nope.
That's
Logan Spear.
Yeah, Logan Spear
of Bedford, the lone back.
Getting a little more action in the second half here.
Again, 4 receivers. Sanasuazo looking downfield, pointing downfield, throwing downfield, intercepted.
Yeah.
Picked off along the sideline by Trevor Wyman. It's the second INT tossed by Sanasuazo, but really the same as a punt. Right?
Yeah, not much, unless you can pin him deep and cover. No, it is. It's just a punt to down early. That's all.
Yep. So, all right, so Team East, they'll take the ball and begin things at their own 30-yard line, just inside of 3 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Just the second drive for Team East, and
that play just was kind of slow to develop, Nick. You almost want, you've got Logan Spear out there to block. I'm not sure if keeping him back and not sending him out as a receiver after a delay might not be a good play on that, because he wasn't really there he couldn't, there was nobody there to block. So I'd run downfield and feed it to him and try to get him in some open space. But
timeout on the field.
Timeout
called by Coach Lozon.
But it's happening with both teams. Both offenses, as the game goes on, continue to seem to me to be losing any momentum that they even had. But that can change real quick when you've got a Heenan-Coleman connection.
Yeah.
They can bust things open quick if somebody bites down too early.
We saw that Londonderry tandem hook up for a 55-yard gain through the air back in the first half. Meanwhile, a timeout called here by Team East. It's the second already in this third quarter. That leaves Coach Lozon with just 1 remaining moving forward.
Interesting time for a timeout when you've got a transfer of possession. You don't see that very often. He's got to have seen something in there that he's looking. I don't know if he's seeing fatigue. I don't know what it is.
Or if they weren't ready to snap.
And maybe they weren't ready to snap, and that's if that's the case, you're giving away a timeout. And
right.
if that was the case, you never like that as a head coach.
No.
Because you just lost one more opportunity to control the game. And he uses his timeouts with precision.
Nick Anastas, Steve Beals, up here in the press box at Grapponi Stadium in Manchester, live from St. Anselm College on the Hilltop. It's been a good game so far if you're a fan of defense. 3-3 here now with less than 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. New quarterback, Dom Capetta, complete. Coleman, his fifth catch, and he's tackled down inbounds right in front of Coach Lozon on the east sideline by the Concord.
Vardy Duncan from Concord.
Yep. He's been around. We saw him, Steve, with a pick 6 back in week 3 in a Concord win over Central.
Well, at least defensively, yeah, I know,
Right.
and at least defensively, Nick, you're going into the deeper into the lineup, and they're all performing at a high level. What a talented group! There's no letdown here of any magnitude whatsoever.
And sure, everybody at this point I think has gotten into the game, but both head coaches are still leaning heavily on their starters.
Very much so.
Meanwhile, this is Capetta, who actually took the first snap way back at the beginning of the game for Team East, but didn't take too many in that first half. The majority handled by Londonderry's Drew Heenan. Capetta going to stay in, or will he get yanked here? He's going to stay in. He's going to get the word from the sideline and then jog back into the huddle to face an upcoming 3rd and 2. We're inside of 2 minutes now, third quarter.
Yep. Giving Drew a rest. Dom is more than capable of running the ball as well, makes good decisions.
Yep.
And let's see what he can do when he's at the helm here.
It's a big package. 2 fullbacks in front of the quarterback. The keeper is
move.
called. He goes left side, and he's got a first down.
Yeah.
Across the 45, spun down at about the 46-yard line. Another tackle there for Souhegan's Madison McGrath. Maddox McGrath.
Kind of rings pretty consistent with what we saw all year out of the Timberlane quarterback. Just a game player.
Good block on the edge, too.
Absolutely. Nice block, but you got to see it and follow it, and he saw it develop. He and Drew, I think, one of their greatest assets, and they've got many, both of them, can throw the ball, can fire it, and they can run the ball with power up the middle. But what I like is a choice. They both see the field and see blocks develop when they tuck it and run. They also can see receiver routes develop pretty well, too, and they run pretty high percentage and low interceptions.
Coming up with the final minute of this third quarter. Capetta on a 1st and 10, trying to escape the pocket. He won't.
Yeah.
Dragged down and sacked by Ryan Turley, the Merrimack defensive lineman. Starting to put together a pretty good game in his own right.
Yeah.
It's the first sack either way tonight.
If that's not a defensive end frame, I don't know what is there, Nick. Defensive end, tight end, whatever you want to do. This guy is, that long, outstretched frame of his, even Dom Capetta couldn't get out for the grasp of it. That's terrific work right there. As we talk about always in defense, maintain outside position. If you're going to miss inside.
So,
nice work.
That's a big setback.
It is.
As now, it's 2nd and a mile, 2nd and about 20. 2nd and 19 officially. Ball at the East 38. This looks like the final play of the third quarter as we're inside of 10 seconds. They'll keep it with Capetta. Another play-action run to his right. It won't get much.
So fast.
Wrapped up by McAuliffe, finished off by Peters, and that will finish off the third quarter. And guess what? We stay tied at 3 as we head to the fourth. Somebody's got to blink. Will it be Team East or will it be Team West? We begin to find out next. Fourth quarter on the other side. You are watching the 2023 CHaD East-West New Hampshire High School Football All-Star Game presented by the Bedford Ambulatory Surgical Centers right here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, presented by Beals Insurance. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Start of the fourth quarter here in Manchester, 3-3, a defensive coordinator's dream through three quarters. Yeah. As we get set for the final 15 minutes of regulation. Nick Anastas, Steve Beals with you from Manchester. Team East facing a 3rd and 19. Drew Heenan throws an incomplete pass, and now Coach Lozon elects to punt the football. If you're just joining us, 3-3, it sounds exactly the way you would think. Defensively, a faulty snap in the red zone plagued Team East on the first drive of the game.
That was it.
Team West couldn't get much going. We had a scoreless first quarter. Team East on the first play of the second quarter got on the board a 22-yarder from Exeter's Ethan Moss. Team West on the final play of the second quarter just before halftime got a 35-yarder from Chris Messmore of Bishop Brady, and that has been it. A scoreless third quarter. We had a lengthy drive to kick off the second half, an 8-minute drive that produced, in the end, a goose egg for Team West. Team East has not been able to move the football here in the second half consistently. And as we begin this fourth quarter, kind of a shank punt
Special teams error,
is going to set up Team West with excellent field position. In fact, their best of the night at their own 43-yard line.
Well, Robin, Kip, and Nick, they're going to be happy about that because that opens up their playbook. A little more risk they can take. I wouldn't take much risk outside of good, hard-nosed running and play-action football here, Nick. And I wouldn't throw the ball until the East is clearly showing that they're going to come up and they're going to bite down and open up some lanes, some passing lanes. But we'll see.
Sanasuazo in the gun. Again, a 4-receiver set. Throws to Maddox McGrath. Makes the catch below the right knee and is spun up across the 45-yard line. Tackle made there by one of my favorites, Aiden Goss, the middle linebacker.
Aiden Goss
from Wyndham, who's a tackling machine. Checks in there for Team East and holds Team West to just a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, well, we've seen Mr. Goss play. He's a lot like Peters in the sense, plays with high emotion, just takes over a game, just solid defensive play all
Coach
around.
Jackson pedaled to the metal. Really a no huddle at this point. Sanasuazo, a cannon shot up the middle. Big first down into East territory, tackled at the 35-yard line, eventually by the safety Ethan Moss.
Watch the running lane he chooses. Just a terrific job. He sees things develop. He knows where the field is sparse of defenders, and he just attacks it with full bore. He does not care about getting hit. And, boy, I'll tell you, he is a tough specimen.
Never
what
tires.
A football player. Never tires. Absolutely unlimited stamina.
He played every snap for Bishop Girton the last 2 years on both offense, defense, and special teams, and has been doing it well tonight for Team West. Handoff to Hyde, breaks 2 tackles, goes upfield inside the 30 before he's finally wrestled down at about the 28-yard line.
Now, Romello did that, and no question. He earned that run 100%. But there is a little bit of fatigue that looks like that's settling in on this 3-man front. I'll be surprised if Coach Lozon's defensive squad doesn't bring in a fourth. Well, looks like they brought in a fourth guy right now, Nick, on second and 2. But the running game's working right now.
Both teams, Steve, ran 30 plays in the first half.
There you go.
And in the second half, I would say Team West has had the football the majority of the time. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And I saw like about third way into the second quarter. It looked to me like the connection between Romello and Charlie Bellavance and Matt is really the game that they're going to be able to pull across the finish line.
It's a big play here on 3rd and 2. Guess who? Sanasuazo going to dive his way inside the 25. First down at about the 22-yard line. Sometimes continuing to work on his rushing total. He was up at, around 50 yards at halftime, 49 on 8 carries through the first 2 quarters, approaching the century mark now here
Absolutely.
at the beginning of the fourth.
And let's not understand, a special teams error on the kicking game is what allowed them that great field position to be able to have a shorter field to try to get at least a field goal or a touchdown here. I mean, they're a ways away from that now, but they're moving down well.
And Team West could not buy a good starting spot in the first half. Their best was, I think, at their own 33 on the final drive before halftime.
Yep.
Their other 4 drives in the first half all started inside the 20. And now here in the second half, they've had 2 drives start at their own 42 and 43-yard lines, respectively. They're knocking on the red zone door now.
Yeah.
It's a 2nd down and 6. The football spotted just outside the 20-yard line. This fourth quarter is now 3 minutes old.
They're doing a great job using Charlie digging inside the tackles, and then they bring Romello across on the off tackle. They're doing a nice job mixing up plays here on the offensive play calling.
Here we go.
Oh, nice cut-up field there.
On 2nd down, big run again. To his left, that's Amari Almonte. Hasn't touched the ball a whole lot, but the Nashua North standout makes a pretty good run there to set up
good
a 3rd
decision.
and short. Looks like 3rd and 1, maybe 3rd and 2.
Well, you read that containment on the outside, Nick, and then at that point you have to make a split-second decision to turn that body upfield, kind of go across the bodies right at him, and he got some good yardage, good needed yardage there.
3rd and 2. Santa Suazo has been the
gonna
go-to
go in.
guy.
He's
inside the 5, and he's just shy. Tackled at the last second by Ethan Moss. Able to stretch that football out, and they'll spot the ball inside the 1-yard line. A 1st and goal on the way for Team West.
And let's not lose sight of what this offensive line is doing for West right now, Nick. They're getting off the ball. They're measuring their gaps very, very well. They're using Matt's doing a great, as he always does, with cadence. I thought he did a great job all year with that, using the cadence to their advantage and taking advantage of a fatigued defensive line right now.
Opportunity for West to score the game's first touchdown. It's 1st and goal from the 1. Santa Suazo, hands to Hyde, makes a cut, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Team West. Romello Hyde scores from 1 yard out, and Team West has taken their first lead of the ball game. It comes with 4.5 minutes gone by fourth quarter. 9-3 is the West lead. Extra point on the way.
Well, think about this for a sec before they do the field goal, Nick. You got Romello Hyde, you've got Charlie Bellavance, both backs, and then you got Matt Suazo, who's not just a handoff quarterback. He can run on himself. How do you defend that in short yardage, Nick? It's real difficult, especially with an offensive line that's just fired up right now and playing mistake-free football.
So Chris Messmore, who connected on a 35-yarder before halftime, is going to add his first extra point of the night. And boy, oh boy, that kicking kick. That one over the safety net.
Yeah.
Into the outfield of the baseball field.
Probably would have gone right over Bishop Brady's school building right there. That thing was, he can welt it. I mean, that thing would have been good for 38, 40-something yards, Nick.
The drive, Steve, goes 57 yards. Chews up nearly 4 minutes. And now for the first time tonight, Team East is trailing.
Yeah, all started out by a mistake on the kickoff, Nick. I hate to bring it back, but when you're playing a game tight like this, every little piece matters. And when you kick the ball, when you decide to punt and you get about 12, 13 yards off from the line of scrimmage on it, that is a mistake. And once that happens, it just opened up the confidence, and the defensive line right now from East looks really gassed, Nick, because don't get me wrong, these guys are first-rate players, but they have been on that field and they've absorbed a lot of plays since midway through the second quarter.
Team West looking to make it 8 out of 11 here in the all-time series.
Far from over here.
A win tonight would be their 3rd straight. Team East hoping for a comeback. It would be their first victory since 2019 when they were led again by Coach Lozon. So Messmore going to tee it up at the 40. By the way, the lights are on and are necessary.
And there's a lot of people home. Let me tell you, this place is still jammed.
Yep. And a lot of folks watching live here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you joining us. Hit the subscribe button. If you have not already, you'll be all set to go when football season returns.
What a kick.
It was a pretty good return.
And he's got
Dan
more.
Doherty, the 4th of Portsmouth, across the 35, all the way to the 38 before he shut down.
And that's exactly what East needed, Nick, is not be stuck deep in their zone after having a score on them. and running uphill, so to speak. They got good field position. Let's see if their offensive line can get really motivated, and Drew Heenan going out there, is about as good as it gets in New Hampshire football as far as leading a football team.
All right, so this, Steve,
we'll see what they do. I'd be interested.
Is the best starting field position for Team East since halftime.
Yep.
Their own 35-yard line. They're going to go 4 receivers again, 3 to the strong side right. Heenan out of the gun, going to tuck and run, goes up the middle, spins his way across the 40. Tackled at about the 41. And who's in there on the stop for Team West? It looks like John Fraioli out of Kearsarge makes the tackle.
Who's that middle linebacker right there? He was in on
Fraioli.
It. That's Fraioli.
Yeah.
Boy, he's a stout looking player. Good job. Tried to strip the ball from Drew, but, boy, that's awful hard to do with that young man. He holds onto the ball really, really well. Good.
Looks like another nickel set here.
Yep.
Maybe even a dime. They're going to go run on 2nd and 4, and it's going to backfire for Team East as Team West in the backfield swarming the football. Bedford's Parker Bromley and company are there.
Well,
talk about 3rd and 4.
Talk about a player, Parker Bromley. What a great job he did for Bedford in that championship game. He was everywhere, and
2-year starter.
2-year starter. Yep.
Impact on both sides.
Yep.
And now a ring to show for it after the Bulldogs beat Londonderry 15-14 was the final score.
Not a game I'll soon forget.
No.
I won't forget that Exeter Timberlane game and then the championship. What a terrific, terrific games.
2 all-time great games in terms of drama.
Yep.
For sure. All right, 3rd and 3. Heenan trying to escape, nowhere to go, and down he goes.
Yeah.
Sacked for a 2-yard loss back at the 40. And that means 4th down and 5 on the way. Clock ticking. We're inside of 9 minutes remaining.
But when you start seeing an offensive line, the defense goes after the runner with the ball, and the offensive line is kind of standing up in place. It's also a sign of some fatigue as well. Just things. There's a lot of guys that are out there that are just playing an incredible amount of snaps and minutes out there. And they're giving everything they have, and they're good players.
And again, this is the first introduction of 15-minute quarters for these kids.
Absolutely, and I believe it's having a factor.
Lineman's punt. Another good one.
It's a heck of a kick right there.
Erda will leave it alone. It takes a bounce at the 20.
Yeah, that's
and
a heck of a kick.
roll to a stop where? At
was
about
that
17.
Dom that kicked that?
No, that was...
Who kicked that?
Just said it, didn't I?
Did you? I apologize. I was watching the...
Well, now I forget. Oh, it was Wyman. Wyman handled the duties.
Yeah, of course.
Yep. All right, so now, Steve, Team West, who has played kind of up-tempo tonight when they've had the football, not a lot of time between snaps. Do they ease off the gas a bit here in an effort to grind down this 8-minute and 7-second clock?
They're grinding down and scored a touchdown, so why not grind down and do whatever you got to do with it? It's a high-percentage offense as far as turnovers are concerned. You got to hold on to the football. I'd be expecting Coach Lozon looking for a strip here and his staff looking for a strip, so you got to make sure you get 5 points of pressure on that ball at all times.
Yep.
But I'd keep it conservative, and I really like having the 2 running back set with Matts in the middle. It's very difficult to defend.
Hyde back out there.
Yeah, I think they're just going to go with a 1 now.
Yep. He's responsible for the lone touchdown either way, a 1-yard score.
The offensive line at West just looks like they're better rested.
Sanaswaza gets 4-man pressure. Pocket collapses.
Good job holding on. Who is that? That's number 58. What a great job holding on there.
Macaulay Cologne.
Yep.
In on the stop.
Another player
from Timberlane, one of 5 owls in this game.
Yep. Would that be called a nest of owls? No, what would you call it? A flock of owls?
That is beyond my pay grade.
Well, I know some people over in Timberlane. I could ask that question, right. I'm sure.
Yeah, Coach Fitzgerald, if you're listening, check in.
Yeah.
I think it's a parliament of owls.
Parliament of owls.
Is that correct? Yeah, see, Matt Beals is all over.
I'm telling you.
Midway through fourth quarter, 2nd and 10, Santa Suazo. Tuck and run, right side, weaves his way up the middle. He's across the 25 to the 26, again close to the first down, 3rd and 2 on the way.
I'm sorry, Nick. That is not what the East wanted right there.
No.
And Santa Suazo just has made so many plays. There's nothing there, and he makes a play. Is someone down?
Yeah, Santa Suazo may have lost a shoe.
Yeah, I think
his heel popped out of his right shoe.
Had a flat tire.
Yep. Wasn't sure if he was limping around, but he looks like he's okay.
Yep. Yeah,
3rd and 2.
He wouldn't let you know anyway.
This may be the biggest play so far. As we're inside of 7 minutes, Team East needs a stop as they trail 10-3. 3rd down and 2. They fake. Santa Suazo facing a full house blitz, and he goes down at the line of scrimmage. Team East, they stand tall there. Nate Pedrick on the stop from the second level. Fredericks was there as well.
If he hands
off.
And
now there is a player down, Steve, for Team West. You hate to see this.
Oh, boy.
It's Jacob Wong of Manchester Central, and he is still down.
Yeah, you don't like to see that.
So they'll stop the clock here with 6:33 as they attend to the youngster.
He turned over. He did move that right leg, so that's good to see. Now he may have been he may have the wind knocked out of him. I'm not sure. He's not acting like it's a leg injury so far. Let's hope it's just something like that where he just needs to get his breath. He's a good player. By the way, Nick, if it looked to me pretty sure that if Matt had handed the ball off, it looked like they had the first down. He decided to keep it, but the swarm was all going after him. That's the time you want to hand it off there. Yeah,
tough to make that decision in real time, for sure.
Yeah,
all right. That's a good sign, as you said. Wong is up. He's going to walk off the field. It looks like under his own power as well.
He's played a good game today.
One of 4 Manchester Central players on Team West. But the bigger story, the stop for Team East. It's going to force a punt here with 6.5 to go.
Absolutely.
So Team East set to get the ball back, trailing 10-3. They're going to send Dan Doherty, the 4th, back deep. May have been a helmet in the stomach.
Yep.
According to our director, Ben Beals.
All the characteristics show that
Wynn was knocked out.
Yep.
All right. Erda standing with his toes at his own 10-yard line.
They're coming after it.
Yep. He just barely gets off a line drive punt. It's fielded by Doherty. The Portsmouth Clipper reverses direction and is stood up and stopped there.
But good field position.
By Concord's Vonnie Duncan. East will begin things in West territory at the 47-yard line. They need a touchdown.
Yep.
They trail 10-3 with just over 6 minutes to go. Duncan, meanwhile, has played well, starting to rack up some tackles, played a little bit of nickel, a little bit of outside corner. Yep. And he's played special teams as well. Excited to see what Concord is going to look like. They've lost a few guys, a few key guys, as we know, including Duncan, but
they have Bahoma.
They have one of the talented running backs statewide.
Yeah. And Tiger On is coming back for Wyndham, I believe, too,
yes.
correct? Yeah. So there's 2 solid runners. Whoa!
Look out.
Coleman again.
With room. And there's that speed. Down the far sideline, he's tripped up at about the 20-yard line, just shy of the 19. That's a big gain. Coleman having a big game. Had over 100 yards in the first half. And he adds to that total here as we move inside of 6 minutes to go in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, we start to see some cramps and things of that at this time with 4:15 minutes. These guys aren't used to playing these kind of numbers.
Right.
But to your point about Coleman, Nick, one of the things he was great a year ago as a junior, I thought, was running good, long routes. And it was terrific. But this year, if you look at the way he's running, his short routes and his cutting ability are very slot receiver-esque, and he's played terrific.
All right, they'll dump it in the flat, and a screen is not going to produce much. They go where? Inside the 18, a gain of 2 maybe. Good pursuit coming out of the backfield. The defensive secondary, I should say, by Jordan Andino, who makes the tackle from Nashua North. A moment ago, you saw a few of our colleagues in the media along the sideline. Roger Brown of the New Hampshire Football Report and the New Hampshire Union Leader, and, of course, Joe Marcellina of NHHighSchoolSports.com.
They are
Tom King.
Quite a threesome right there, those guys. They're everywhere.
The Nashua Telegraph, you're right.
Very unfortunate in this state to have these guys.
2nd and 7, throw incomplete.
And the material that they put out, New Hampshire High School, New Hampshire Football Report, New Hampshire High School Reports by Joe, And then, of course, for Nashua TV and Nashua Telegraph, Tom King. We have old 1990 games that we've shown that show Coach O'Reilly as a young fella, as well as Tom King, a young fella. 1980s.
82, Steve.
By the way,
the year I was born. That's how long Tom King's been doing.
Something that's worth noting, Tom informed me that the Tom Pound is open. And
Still,
probably
just opened.
Just opened, and
he's got the pool down there.
And I offered a cannonball to empty it, and he said no, thank you. So, but I'm welcome to come by for
no diving,
some refreshments, just no diving. Yeah.
All right, inside of 5 minutes.
Guy.
3rd and 8, Steve. 18-yard line, huge play. They're going to roll out Heenan. He's going to throw back left side. It's caught by Pemberton, the lineman, and he goes down at the 20-yard line, shy of the line of scrimmage. So a trick play. Didn't fool Team West.
How about that response by that defense, getting out there on the outside of the hash marks? I mean, they come up. The reading and reacting is as good as it gets, Nick, and it's done by swarms. I mean, this defense has just really come up big and throughout the whole game, really. I mean,
tackle made by the 5'8", 150-pound cornerback Joe Ramos from Manchester West.
Yes. All right. That Nick's alma mater was going to...
Well represented.
It has checked in.
You knew a Blue Knight would check in at some point, and it's a big tackle. As now Team East faces a 4th and 10 after a loss of 2. That clock still ticking as the tackle was made inbounds. We're down to 4 minutes and change. 4th and 10. Team East trailing 10-3. Trying to keep the drive alive.
Big play. And they're not going to go for a field goal. They're going for it.
Heenan in the pistol, and I think a timeout was just called by Coach Jackson.
Coach Lozon.
Is it Lozon or Jackson? It's Lozon.
No, it's
Lozon. That's the final timeout for Team East.
He is not happy about having to take that timeout. He wants his timeouts. He controls a game as good as anybody does on the football field, and he's blown two. Not he, but the team has blown 2 of them, and that could. When
he's
you're
out
down, he's out of him completely because he called another one.
He called one, I think, on his own accord,
which made
first
sense.
One.
Yeah, that one made sense.
But the last 2, I think, were out of necessity, and that means that he is out of timeouts for the final 3:54.
Yeah, so that really ups the ante on this play, Nick, right here, because he can't stop the clock from here on in on his own. He has no control over it. So at this point, they've got to execute here. This is really, to me, now the number 1 play of the game right here. This so far.
Yep. Drama building here as we go down the stretch in the 4th quarter. Coming up after the game, we'll have the trophy presentation down on the field. They'll name a game's MVP, and we'll bring all that to you live again following the game. All right, 4th and 10. Play action, clean pocket. Heenan.
Good containment.
Still with time. Throws into the end zone. Coleman! Is he in?
Yes!
Yes, he is! Touchdown!
Unbelievable!
Team East!
Wow. This connection is something else.
4th and 10. Heenan throws it up for grabs. Coleman is on the receiving end again. And just like that, Team East is an extra point away from tying this game.
And the offensive line comes up big there, giving Heenan the time and protection. And Coleman, if you give him 4, 5, 6 seconds, he's going to get free in that corner of the end zone. And Drew Heenan throws an absolutely masterful pass that goes over the hands of the defender. What a terrific play. For all these guys have done for the years they've been watching, Nick, isn't it fitting that the 2 of them would connect in a situation like that with terrific offensive line blocking?
It is.
That's just a great – and you can see a big sigh of relief now that they're back in the game, and now it's going to be head-to-head. This is going to be a very
They're going for 2.
finish.
They're going for 2. Forget the extra point.
Wow.
Says Coach Lozon. We want the lead with 3:44 to go. But
and that
first,
forces
Coach Jackson's going to call a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, he may go back and kick the ball right now, but he forces Coach Jackson to burn one. That's a great cat and mouse game between these both great coaches here. Terrific.
Wouldn't surprise me either way. I think.
I agree.
Based on the momentum,
you can't miss though. Either way, you can't miss, whatever decision.
Yep.
If it's for real or it was just a ploy, it all works.
Now, if it doesn't happen, Team West comes up with a stop here, then East is really in a tough spot with no timeouts and still trailing by a point.
Well, it's a gutsy.
So it's a risk for sure.
It's a gutsy call. You got all these kids that are played their hearts out all game, and it's putting the game kind of on the line with 3:44. And I would emphasize again, Nick, with no timeouts, you can't stop the clock.
Now, I will say this, Steve, out of now 11 East-West All-Star games, we've only had 1 overtime. That was back in 2013.
Yep.
when, and you'll like this, defensive lineman Rick Holt of Portsmouth came up with a key stop in OT and won the game's MVP.
Wow.
As a result.
Now, let me tell you why I would kick a field goal, while I would kick the extra point. I'll tell you why. Because that guy from Bishop Brady with no win can kick a 44-yard field goal.
They are going to kick.
And that's why I would kick it, Nick, because they only got to get down to potentially the 28, 29-yard line for him to have a reasonably successful chance of kicking it.
Again, you got no timeouts.
Got no timeouts, another reason.
It's a different story if they've got all three. Yeah. That one is up and good, and we're tied at 10.
What a great ploy, knowing you have no timeouts left. You know that Coach Jackson, and he does, has to call the timeout because he hasn't got the right group on the field.
Right.
You'd never think he was going to go for two. That's just Jimmy Lozon going back into volumes with dust on them that he studied. Talk about a film rat. He's got a lot of nerve to say Drew Heenan's a film rat because we know that his compound down in his basement there is loaded with material.
Well, we know about Coach Lozon, and for those who don't, we'll give you his quick bio. How about he became head coach at his alma mater, Manchester West, I believe at 21 years old.
Yes, 20.
Maybe 22, 23, whatever, young 20s. Spent some time at West. Then he came right here to St. Anselm College, was a part of that staff with St. Anselm at the NCAA level for several years. Then he goes to Londonderry, and in a few months he's about to kick off his 10th season as head coach of the Lancers. And, oh, by the way, he is now the school's athletic director as well. Took over mid-year for Howard Sobolov, who departed.
Absolutely. Howard, always very good to us. We appreciate. I hope he's doing well, and if he's retired or working, so I don't know what he's doing, but Howard, thanks for all the help that you gave us. And Jimmy Lozon now has got a very solid, bona fide, large-numbered middle school program playing in the Northeast Junior High League. Something my buddy Mark Gannard down there has been instrumental in growing. I was his vice president for years and had an awful lot of fun coaching and being involved in that organization. It's a terrific developmental football program, and Jimmy's got his middle school playing in that league, and they're going to play some real tough competition to get better.
10-10 our score. You got a squib. Nice pull in by El Monte, the Nashua North Titan.
He has a lane.
He's got a 25. There's a flag on the play as he's tackled up around the 30-yard line. The flag sits at the 22.
Yeah. So they're going to be deep in their own territory, Nick, if this is a hold that I thought I saw over around the 15-yard line.
And I believe that's only the second penalty of the night against Team West.
Yeah, you're going to see there's a hold about the 15-yard line there. The referees have only called what is clear and concise. You're going to see right there, block in the back. I'm sorry, that's a block in the back. So it wasn't. I thought number 22 and was holding, but he had the hands on the inside. Now that's a block in the back. Yeah. This officiating staff, Nick, has basically been invisible.
Yep.
Just literally invisible from start to finish of this game. It's as good an officiated game as I've seen. And I've seen a lot of them in this state.
Again, I believe we've only seen a combined 6 penalties. And again, that was the second of the night against Team
West. In a lot
of
regions of the country, Nick, that can't get referees because they're fair to come on the field. That the New Hampshire. Well, I'll wait till after.
Here's a sweep. It's Erta looking for the corner. He's got it. He's got the first down as well across the 20.
He's got sneaky speed.
Close to the 25 before he stepped out.
But this state, Nick, is blessed with a great fan base. Blessed with great officials and a great system in high school that we enjoy. That is not everywhere across the country. A lot of places in the country are struggling with getting officials, and I'm sure I know there's some struggles, and I've heard in lacrosse and others as well. And we need more people to go in officiating. But this is a great place to be an official, and they do a terrific job.
3.5 to go. A 1st and 10 for Team West. They keep it with Santa Suazo, and the quarterback. Seeking room to his left, won't find much.
They're going to
tackled along the line of scrimmage there by Ryan Graney of Exeter.
They are basically selling out to grab Santa Suazo. They're going to say somebody else is going to have to beat us besides Matt. They're going to probably have to start mixing up a little bit, giving some other players. I'll tell you what really was working well for them was that double running back set. Be interested to see if they go back to that. But
Hyde, the lone back to the left of Santa Suazo, 2nd down and 9. Takes a waist-high snap, hand to Hyde, and he's swallowed up. Going to lose a yard or two. Frederick stands him up right around the line of scrimmage. They may give him forward progress. They're going to mark him just shy of the 30-yard line, so it looks like 3rd and 6 on the way. And clock, meanwhile, slips inside of 3 minutes.
And you feel, Coach Lozon would like nothing more than to get into postseason play here when the timeout advantage is not there. I think he has one left, Kip Jackson, right?
He has 2.
Yeah. Oh, so he's only used that one.
Yes.
Okay, I thought he used another one early in the game. Sorry.
Back in the first half, but he still has 2 left here in the second half.
Big play.
3rd and 6, Seneswazo to his left, eyes downfield, now going to tuck and run. Flag flies as he goes out of bounds right near the first down marker.
He did not get it.
Flag came in where? At about the 30-yard line. The east sideline is fired up.
You would think that it would be a hold. Given an outside run like that with a quarterback running back and forth, it's awful difficult not to hold in that situation as you're trying to defend people from getting your quarterback.
And based on the body language, it looks like Team West is ready to back up.
Yep.
Officials
so I'm
continuing
sure
to discuss.
The question is, will Jimmy give them? Will he take the 4th down? I would imagine he's got to take the penalty. It's too close to not. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but
half the distance on a blindside block.
Yeah.
2 infractions on the play. East, they take their pick.
Well, he's about the worst place of the on the field for a half the distance of the goal.
Right.
It isn't like it's on the 6 and it goes to the 3.
Right.
It's a big yardage loss and putting them deep. But they will have another crack at a down here, but it's an awful risk.
Ball spotted at the 12-yard line. They got to get to the 36.
Mm-hmm.
So if my West High math is correct, that's 3rd and 24.
So how about this East defense so far, other than this play yet, come up big to help to get their offense another shot in the field?
3rd and 24, 2:21 to go. Seneswazo with Hyde to his right. 4 receiver set, 2 each side. Man in motion, Almonte. They hand to it on a sweep. He looks for the corner. He's got it. He's inbounds still at the 20, up to the 23 before he's surrounded and eventually dropped.
Yeah, got him
well shy of that first down. Tackled inbounds. Clock continues to tick.
Yeah, you see him fight for inbounds and not to get tackled out of bounds. That was a smart move on his part.
Yep.
So you know you're going to lose possession of the football. You want another 30 seconds running off that clock.
Yep.
This no timeout situation. Not that by any stretch that Team East can't get it in the end zone with the squad they have and the coaching they have, but without a timeout, Nick, even just one of them, one timeout left is really hurts. But
well, he's got Ethan Moss, the Exeter standout.
Yep,
already connected on a 22-yarder. He tied the game a moment ago with an extra point.
I would never ever kick it to him. I'd kick it outside. I'd kick it to the left, get him off base, and the
return man is Dan Doherty.
Yeah, I would kick it. I wouldn't kick it right at him by any stretch.
Now a timeout by Coach Jackson.
Oh, well, he feels, what the heck, I'm not going to get the ball back. Well, he's figuring I'm not going to get the ball back. I want to make sure everything's right on this play because field position is going to be key with no timeout and 1:24 left. This clock is going to run, unless they get to the sidelines. So that's the only way that they can or an incomplete pass, which isn't really going to get Team East anything anyway. So, I understand it. I get it. He does not want a mistake on this special team. He doesn't want a special teams mistake to cost him the game.
Right. Not this deep in his own end.
Yep.
Minute 24 to go. Team West is now left with 1 timeout remaining. Again, Team East is out of timeouts. Coach Lozon right there in the middle. Some of his assistants. And again, the assistant coach list for both teams reads like a who's who
in New Hampshire coaching circuit.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So anybody's voice down there, I'm sure, is being well received by the players, no matter who it is. All right. Baker, standing at his own 10-yard line. He was busy in that first half with 3 punts. Not so much in the second half, but he's going to need a big one here. It's a good snap. Protection is there. This is kind of a lofty punt.
Oh, and
it
goes
bounce
backwards
at the 50, and it's a fortunate roll for Team East, as it's going to set them up 1st and 10 at the West, 48-yard line. So excellent starting position for Team East here as they look to break the 10-10 tie. They've got a minute 16 to do so. Again, no timeouts.
What Coach Lozon's looking for here is to somehow, with no timeouts, get within with Heenan's striking distance on a pass into the end zone. He'd love to have 22 seconds left down on the 12, 14-yard line and have 3 strike in a first down with 3 strikes with Heenan in the end zone to make it happen. So that's what they're going to be looking at. Probably sideline passes.
Heenan on first and 10.
I would imagine sideline passes here.
Being chased by Brown, going to throw incomplete.
Great chase down by
that's Brown, who was all over him. Brown,
is that Brown?
Standout from Nashua North.
Yeah, and also is that Jacob Baker?
Baker was there too.
Yeah, that's enough hardware coming at you to make you run to the sidelines quick.
A couple of grown men. In
yes,
pursuit
sir.
There.
Yeah, I saw Jacob with his media group with his camera doing some sideline work at the lacrosse championships, and I shook his hand and I said, "Wow." He's
got a knack for that. He's going
to do
I believe pursue a career as an actor, or at least that was one of the ideas.
You kind of get the feeling
around,
from football to acting, Jacob could do that and anything in between.
Yeah,
he's pretty successful.
He certainly looks like a movie
He has a
star.
lot of confidence and he's
Heenan
just slowed him down.
Second and 10, goes up the middle and is spun down after a 7, maybe 8-yard gain.
Yeah, watch
down
this.
to the 40-yard line, and we're inside of a minute.
Watch this on replay. You're going to see a clutch of the jersey of Heenan, which stopped probably a 20-yard run. You're going to see that right here. When he comes through, somebody gets a hold on him, and that just allowed the defense enough time to come up and make it stick.
I think it was the nose guard, Jack Lorenz. 3rd down and 4, quick throw, incomplete. Well, Romello Hyde in on the coverage, may have gotten a piece.
What do you do here, Nick? This is a big decision with no timeouts remaining for Coach Lozon.
40 seconds.
What do you do here? Because if it's incomplete, you're giving him at the 40. If you punt it, at least you got with 40 seconds. He's got 1 timeout left on the other side of the field. What do you do if you're Coach Lozon? It's a tough decision. You could go either way here. With a Drew Heenan and Coleman, do you go for it? I think
based on field position, I would.
Well,
but
I think based on field position and based on not giving Drew Heenan an opportunity to win this game.
I mean, it's 4th and 3. It's not 4th and 8.
Yeah, but you got Drew Heenan. I would never take it away from him to try to win this game on a throw or a run.
Here we go.
He's so smart.
Heenan again with 4 receivers, 3 to his right. Takes a shotgun snap. He's got to hurry. Brown is on him, and there's a sack. It's a sack at midfield.
Wow.
Toby Brown Jr.
He's done it all year.
Got the step and then was breathing down Heenan's neck for the sack. Now
making Nashua proud. Let me tell you, this guy, what a player. You look at him, he's got a D1 build written all over him. Look at this. Look at that getting around. Is that Pemberton that he got around?
Yeah, he beat Pemberton
That's
on the edge.
That's not easy to do, to beat Mr. Pemberton, and this guy is special.
One of the best tackles in the game. But
Toby Brown Jr.
No match for Brown that time. And now Team West with still a timeout, Steve.
Took a huge player to take down a huge player, and that's the difference in the game so far.
34 seconds to go. 1st and 10. The ball just on the Team West side of the 50-yard line.
This Bishop Brady kicker gives you a real advantage in this situation.
Handoff to Erda. Flag flies. Erda's got room on the sideline and is wrestled out of bounds inside the east 40-yard line. But again, there's a flag along the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, you got to believe that's a hold, but
they threw that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, no, second into the play.
They're saying there's a hold on number 87.
Yeah, that's Ryan Turley of Merrimack, who's visibly upset.
I did not see any hold there on number 87.
That's why. It was an illegal formation.
Okay,
no hold.
There you go. That's why it wasn't a hold.
Somebody wasn't all the way up to the line.
No, I was just saying I didn't see a hold.
I didn't either.
That makes more sense now that there was a legal formation.
And again, that flag was thrown almost right away.
Yeah, no.
Snap.
He's all over it. He's all over it.
1st and 15. That takes away a 12-yard gain.
Yep.
And it also takes 5 seconds off the clock. We're down to 29 seconds. From their own 44-yard line, Erda again in motion. Again, they hand to him. He's thinking about the throw. Instead, he'll tuck and run.
You don't want
trying to
run
get back to the original
Nick.
line of scrimmage. He's tackled inbounds.
Yeah.
Clock is now stopped with 20 seconds as Coach Jackson has just used his 3rd and final timeout.
You can't run in that situation, Nick. You've got to throw the ball out of bounds or run to the sideline full speed. You can't turn up field on the hash marks and make them take their last timeout. That's their one opportunity to get the kick going. Now they can't get the kick going.
Got to credit Team East. They did a good job on the contain.
But then you throw it out of bounds.
Yeah.
You can't do that in that situation. You just can't.
Now, if I remember correctly, the overtime rules are the ball spots at the 25 like college. And I believe that was the case 10 years ago when this game went into OT in 2018. 2013.
Got a lot of twists and turns ahead of us here, Nick, in this game. But, boy, that was a mental error right there of pretty. If you've got to give it third down, be back at the line of scrimmage, and you took a 2-yard loss.
2nd and 12.
But most of all, you lost the ability to stop the clock.
Santa Suazo going to throw quickly, incomplete, trying to find McGrath. But overthrown, and now a 3rd and 12 on the way.
So this game, for all intents and purposes, unless something really crazy happens,
could be headed to OT.
Headed to OT.
And again, it would be just the second overtime affair of the series.
Yep, I agree.
But 3rd and 12.
Huge audience watching out there. Thank you to all of our viewers. We certainly hope you're enjoying this game. Love bringing it to you.
This was a 3-3 game at halftime, a 3-3 game at the end of the third quarter. And now we're tied again here at 10. 16 seconds. 3rd and 12. Santa Suazo barely gets it off. Immediate pressure provided by TJ Tavares. And now there's a player shaken up for Team West as well.
Good sportsmanship there.
Cawthron helps him up. It's Toby Brown Jr. back on his feet. And we're left with just 11 seconds remaining here in this fourth quarter. So we got a 4th and 12. The ball just inside the Team West's 48-yard line. And it looks like Team West will punt here again with 11 seconds remaining.
Yep. Kind of a calm before the potential storm in overtime here, Nick. It's kind of a slow walk on and off the field of the players. It's
there was something being discussed there, I believe, by the officials. But we're ready to go now.
Yep.
4th and 12.
So they're not going to put anybody back. They're just going to let him punt it and end the game. And Coach Lozon says, let's go to overtime.
Yeah, they're going to stick with their basic defensive formation, looking for a fake here. Erta going to run to the left, finally get the left-footed punt off. It goes straight up in the air and then drifts out of bounds. The question is where? There's 2 seconds remaining. The official is going to mark it at the east 41-yard line. Again, 2 seconds remaining. So time for one more snap for Coach Lozon's offense here before we head to OT.
Coach Lozon survives losing those 2 timeouts, not of his own doing, but of having some couple mental errors go out on the offensive sets there. So he's able now to get back even, if you will, going to overtime here. And I think there's probably with East a sigh of relief that they're able to get to overtime here. And it's anybody's ball game.
We're not quite there yet. Well, still 2 seconds to go.
I'm saying I think
West is going to play prevent,
like I
and
said.
East is going to take a knee.
All right.
Capetta drops the knee, and we go to overtime for the first time in a decade here in the 2023 CHaD East-West New Hampshire High School Football All-Star
Friday night, no work tomorrow. Let's might as well play a long game of football here.
Sure.
Why not? Music to my ears.
A relatively quick-moving first 4 quarters as well, a little under 2.5 hours.
Beautiful
now, again,
night.
Those, Steve, unfamiliar with the NCAA overtime rules, why don't you explain real quick?
I wasn't here in 2013, so I don't know how they're going to handle it. I would assume
put
it's
it
at the 20-yard line.
I think it's 25.
25-yard line, and they're going to have 4 downs to get it in the end zone.
No, to get a first down, you can get.
Oh, to get a first down, excuse me. And then if the first team gets a touchdown, you've got to allow the second team their possession.
Yep.
If they get and after they each gets a possession, whoever scores first wins, is my understanding. Correct?
I'm not sure about that.
If you get a touchdown, no, you have to give them the second chance. That's
Yes.
right. That's right too. Okay.
So we may be here for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, but it moves along. You're not kicking the ball and all that other stuff. It's pretty much offense, defense.
And again, these defenses have been outstanding. So this may be.
Did it used to be the 20-yard line, Nick? I always thought before it was the 20-yard line before, but now it's the 25. Am I wrong on that?
I think it's the 25.
I don't know.
We're about to find out.
Meanwhile,
Coach Lozon, Coach Jackson, after a brief meeting on the field with the officials, are now going to head back to the sidelines to address their teams as we get set for the first possession of overtime.
Yeah.
I believe we'll have a coin toss before to determine possession.
I would assume so.
I would assume so as well.
Because each has had a shot at first, both half. So not doing that would be very surprising.
If you're just joining us, it's been a low-scoring affair.
Unless Jimmy can talk Kip into saying, just give it to me the first time, I'll give you last pitch or something.
We had a scoreless first quarter. 22-yard field goal by Ethan Moss for Team East. Was the initial score, and then on the final play before halftime, Team West answered with a 35-yard field goal from Chris Messmore. 3-3 at the break, 3-3 at the end of the third quarter. And then the two teams exchanged touchdowns in that fourth quarter. Team West, they take their first lead with a little outside of 10 minutes remaining. Romello Hyde, a 1-yard score. Extra point by Mossmore made it 10-3. And then inside of 4 minutes on a 4th and 10, Drew Heenan hooks up with his Londonderry teammate, Andrew Coleman. And just like that, we're tied at 10. Final 3:44 goes scoreless, and now we're set for overtime here in Manchester.
You know, I had such an enjoyable time last year during the football season, Nick, doing these games each week. And seeing these guys go into essentially their last overtime, so many of these players I'm going to remember for a long time. This is a great class of students.
It was.
But the beauty is the rosters are growing across the state. Football is back.
Yep.
And it looks to me, even some of the teams that have been programs are struggling with numbers are coming back right now. So New Hampshire just continues to fill the till again with solid athletes.
Yeah.
But this has been an awful good group.
Yep. The class of 2023 going to go out with a bang here in overtime.
When you think about what these young fellas saw in their freshman year with the whole COVID-19 situation, and everybody's got an opinion about that, but these kids have withstood a lot of adversity, and ending here speaks volumes to their tenacity of staying with the game and playing right through to the end. And they've proven themselves to be gritty group.
So the captains on their way to midfield.
Freshman year was a truncated, kind of a strange
5-game regular season.
5-game regular season. The next year was a full season, but kind of like week to week, you never knew what was going to happen next. And then last year, the floodgates kind of opened.
The crowds were back.
And New Hampshire high school football is in solid shape. Look at the memorial program we saw. Done a great job over there bringing the teams back. Now you got. Here we go.
You have one timeout per overtime period, and the only way to get a first down is by penalty. Are we clear? Yes, sir. Perfect. Same coin. Heads there. Tails. Heads and tails. What's your call?
Tails.
Tails is called.
Did you hear that? He said the only way to get.
Toss, like offense, defense, or defense. Which end do you want to go on? To take this end. Okay, we can switch, guys. Switch.
Remember I said I didn't think you could get a first down, but you can get it obviously by penalty, which makes sense.
So no first downs.
Okay, I'm out.
Thank you, Jason.
And we're ready to go here momentarily.
And John Barron, our tech guy with his mobile camera unit, is just got some fantastic.
Bringing us right inside the captain's
right
meeting.
inside the captain's seat. Yeah. Look at.
All right, so who's got enough left in the tank at this point becomes the question, Steve. These kids have battled now for 60 minutes.
Yep.
For the first time, not 48, 60.
Yep.
And they're going to are being asked to put in a little more here
and they're being asked to play 60 minutes in not in mid-season form.
Right.
I mean, athletes are humans too. They have their.
All right, so the ball's at the 10. Forget the 25.
And there's been no lack of hitting in this game.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
All right, 10-yard line.
I didn't think it was a 25. I thought maybe the 20, but I didn't think it was a 25. But
all right, second overtime,
but a penalty could
of the series, first since 2013, when Team West won 13-7, being the final. On first down, nowhere to go. Capetta on the carry, runs into a brick wall at the line of scrimmage. They do give him a yard or two in the end. We'll give him a yard. Looks like the ball just inside the 9-yard line.
Well, it looks like we're going to get some tremendous. We got John down on that side of the field. We're going to get some really, really good camera angles here with some of these plays coming in, I hope. So,
second down and 8.
Second down, yeah.
Second and goal from the 8. Capetta goes straight ahead off the gun snap, breaks a couple of tackles,
what a gallant
spins
effort.
down to the 4-yard line.
Tremendous effort. Saw that all year from Dom.
Parker Bromley credited with the tackle.
So I would say on the 3-yard line, boy, his knee must have gone down, Nick, just a little bit early there.
That's just outside the 3. That's about right. We'll see here. 3rd and goal from the 3. Capetta.
Big play for the defense here.
Take the majority of the snaps tonight. It was Drew Heenan, but going to get the call here in overtime and come up short again on 3rd and goal.
He's
3
down.
straight dives from the quarterback.
He's down to the 1.
Going to get the ball down to the 1-yard line for a 4th and goal coming up.
Here is a big decision right here. Do you grab the 3 or do you try to pound it in the end zone?
From the 1, I'm going for it.
You're going for it.
Yep.
All right.
And I think Coach Lozon may be thinking the same as he's going to keep
I would
Capetta
go
in
for
the
it.
huddle.
I would go for it because of Matt Sanasuazo, Charlie Bellavance, and
I don't know if 3's going to hold up.
3's going. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
And again, you're at the 1. You're not at the 10.
Yeah. And they're going to give it to Dom, and Dom is good at running forward as he receives it, getting a lot of pressure.
Meanwhile, Hyde looks to meet him in the hole, and now flags fly from all directions.
I think they're going to get encroachment here, Nick. I'm not sure. But it looked to me like there was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's only going to be about, a 12-inch difference.
It all
that
counts,
may
though.
be
It all counts.
enough. We're going to find out. Game of inches, as the saying goes. So the nose of the football right now is just outside the goal line.
Yep.
You almost wonder if you want to run something under center here. A sneak, but
I think
we haven't seen a direct snap all
Dom
night
has a
either
really unique benefit with that power that he's got in the height extension. I think you're going to see him run forward to that snap. He's done it so well for Timberlane all year. I think that's what you're going to see. They got a lead blocker right in front of him.
Yep, here he comes, and
Whoa!
Did he get the ball
No,
over?
they did not
he
get it!
He never got the ball over. The stop is made.
That is
Baker,
unbelievable.
the first on the scene, and we stay tied at 10.
Holy smokes, Nick.
So now Team West, Steve, in
Let's see
theory,
this.
they could trot out the field goal kicker.
Number 23 got in and got the hip.
That's Trice Cody.
That's Trice Cody, and what a terrific job, Trice. That is big. Look at this. Look at him. He stops the hip.
And then he got spun. Peters was
Trice-
there. Baker was
Trice
there.
is half the weight, half the size, but he knows where to go. Grab that hip, Nick. Shut it down. That's exactly what he did.
So Trice Cody, who's listed at 5'11", 175, able to come up with a big stop at the line of scrimmage just outside the goal line to keep this game tied. And now the ball is in Coach Jackson's court. West will have it at the 10, Steve. The next score wins. So they beg the question, you bring the field goal unit out here on 1st and 10 for potentially a 27, 28-yarder. And just end this thing on 1st down. It's up for grabs, but
well, I don't see that yellow Bishop Brady helmet, so I don't think that's going to happen in this case, Nick. I think they're going to go.
They got Sanasuazo out there with Bellavance.
But I don't see Romello. I'm surprised they're not going the three-man set, but
Bellavance may have the fresher legs.
That's true.
1st and goal from the 10. Sanasuazo on the fake, cuts it up the field, makes a man miss at the 10, and then is dragged down from behind at about the 8-yard line. Somebody lost a shoe.
Cleats flying.
Yep.
Looks like somebody from East there. Was that?
Somebody lost a shoe.
Yep.
That's Ryan Graney of Exeter.
Yeah.
He's going to stay in the game and try and get that foot on his shoe on his left foot.
He'll be ready by snap time. Yeah, they're going to bring it in right now, Nick, and they're going to go for it. I don't. I totally understand this call. They got it at the center of the field.
Yep.
This kicker has proved himself.
You shaved off 4 yards.
Shaved
on the distance
off 4 yards
on the run.
distance.
So now you've got about a 23-yarder.
It's all on the snap and hold here, Nick.
Yep.
He's not going to miss from that. I don't think he's going to miss on his own accord.
Chris Messmore, he connected on a 35-yard field goal. He connected on his lone extra point attempt, and now Coach Lozon going to make him think about it.
Yep.
As Team East calls a timeout here to try to ice the kicker.
Now, did Kip Jackson just play a little on Jimmy to get? No, just kidding. To get rid of his timeout.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm kidding.
But
No,
again, I don't see anything to gain.
I don't see anything to gain
by snapping the ball and trying to run when you can.
You've got a
kick the field goal.
You've got a guy well known throughout the whole league as one of the top kickers,
and we've seen that leg on display tonight.
Absolutely, and boy, he's got some serious distance. That young man, and he's only going to get better as time goes on.
Team West looking for their third win in a row here in the all-time series.
I did hear a lot of chatter before the game, and according to that chatter, this would be an upset. According to that chatter. I don't know. I think these are always two teams pretty evenly matched.
There's no favorite in these
There's no favorite in these kind of games. But I'm just saying what was being talked about beginning. I've never seen it that way. I've seen these teams just iced just like this.
We said at the top this could be a coin flip,
absolutely.
And here we are in overtime.
Oh, here we go, Nick.
And potentially the game winner on the way. This is Bishop Brady's Chris Messmore. Erta is the holder. Snap, hold, kick, and blocked! It's blocked! It's picked up, and they're going to blow it dead.
Yeah, no run
Picked
backs.
up by Team East. Evan Karofsky able to pick it up, but the block comes straight up the middle, and we continue here in overtime.
This is just unbelievable. These defenses on even the defensive sets on the special teams, Knicks, are winning a lot of the battles. So this is just an unbelievable effort on both these teams. It's incredible, and we're going back at it again. You just think it's in the bag, and then it's not. It just came out low.
That was Goss who got in there, Steve.
Yeah. It just came out low.
That's Goss who comes flying in like Superman.
Yep.
Aiden's Wyndham Goss.
Yep.
Wyndham's Aiden Goss.
Yeah, if there's
they've gotten two hands on that kick.
Anybody ever thinks this is an exhibition game, you would be sorely wrong. The effort going in to provide first-rate entertainment to a couple of groups of guys that are just going at it. Nobody wants to go home losing this game.
No.
This is terrific to watch.
So, we stay tied at 10 as we go in for the second possession here of the overtime. Another meeting of the minds between Coach Lozon and an animated Coach Jackson. He doesn't appear to be too thrilled at what he's hearing down there as the two continue to chat with the officials. Not sure what this discussion is about.
Yeah.
Are they going to give Team West the ball now first?
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to rotate.
Right.
You get one shot and then you rotate the other way. So
that may be the case, but I'm frankly done speculating since I've been wrong every other time. One thing we do know is this discussion continues. The teams are hoping to
how about those
catch
two
their
guys?
breath in the meantime.
How about those two guys, Jimmy Lozon and Kip Jackson? Have they got these teams prepared in short order, short time, limit? I mean, think about all that has to go on to bring these guys. I mean, how many real mistakes have you seen? I mean, no more than any other regular season game with a full staff that's played together since August, you know? This is just terrific job with the heads coaches and all these assistants. And speaks volumes to why this game is so much fun and exciting. It's all
right. It's as we thought, Steve.
Yep.
As Team West now will possess the ball first here in double overtime. Hyde, left side, drops the shoulder,
5.5
drops the
yards.
defender down around the 5-yard line. They'll give him 5, second to goal from the 5.
They're
from
just
give inside the 5.
The 6, really.
Is coming on here for Team West.
He's almost on the 4-yard line, so that's a nice gain, first down right there.
Yep.
I love the idea of running Romello, right on the tackle, right to C-gap.
Bellavance and Hyde, the two backs. They go to Hyde, left side, same play. And this time a different result as he's tackled at the line of scrimmage. Fredericks the first there for Team East.
Number 20 there in on that tackle. Nice job. And a host of other East players. This is just
it's Karofsky of Kennett.
Karofsky, everybody playing out full.
Karofsky racking up tackles.
Look at the nice lateral side movement and coming up and making the stick. That's what you want. That's good technique right there. Puts you in best position to make a tackle.
3rd and goal from the 5. Santa Suazo to the right. Trying to find some space. Pemberton's right on him, and he's going to get sacked at the 6-yard line.
I think he lost a yard.
Yeah.
There's just nothing there. Great defensive work. How about, is that number over there?
Malachi Cologne was there, too.
Yeah, who's number one? Is it number one in the cornerback there? Yeah, number one of East. Just a terrific job. Matt Santosuaso rolled out, almost assumed automatic that he was going to be open on that play. Where you're running, or they're going to go for the field goal.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
That's faith in your defense right there.
Chris Messmore had his previous attempt blocked a moment ago. Connected in the first half on a 35-yarder.
They're trying to do it again.
Can Team East block a second straight? Close, but no cigar. This one up and good.
Well, points on the board have been very, very valuable today's game. So that pretty much that's going to be an interesting 4 downs, Nick, or whatever downs coming up here, of what Coach Lozon does along the way here.
23-yarder. Second of the night for Messmore. Doing Bishop Brady proud. And now it's on Team East to answer the bell here with the ball set to be spotted at the 10-yard line. Only the second lead of the night for Team West at 13-10.
I don't know if that was tipped. I think it was just, it didn't look like it. It was close. Somebody came across.
Very close.
Looks like number 14 came across here. Let's see if he gets a hand on it. No, I don't think so. I think it just kind of, he was making sure he got that ball off quick.
Yeah, it came off his foot with some speed.
Yep.
All right.
Drew Heenan in
it's
now.
Heenan now. Yeah, we saw Capetta in the first overtime series, and now it's on Heenan. Touchdown wins the game for Team East. Team West trying to hold strong. Davis in motion. Snap taken. Flag flies. Heenan goes up the middle and is planted at about the 7-yard line. But again, a flag down along the far side of the field near the line of scrimmage.
Illegal use of the hands on the offense, I believe.
Again, that flag came in quickly. And let's see here.
Oh, formation. Okay.
We saw one of those same calls go against Team West back in the fourth quarter. We see one now in overtime against Team East.
Yep.
So that one's a bit of a bite.
I don't
They're
think
backed up to the
I don't think anyone
15-yard line.
has left these stands.
No.
Nick. This place is still jammed.
No, it's been about 95% full from the first quarter on.
And nobody's leaving the viewing audience either. Still holding strong. That's
welcome you inside the 9 o'clock hour here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. If you have not subscribed yet, please do. And you'll be set to go this autumn for the 23 campaign. All right, 13-10 on a first and goal from the 15. Heenan throws into the end zone, and it's knocked away at the last second.
Boy, they
intended for Coleman, and Dino able to close the gap and deny the pass.
It takes defensive perfection to stop this well-rehearsed play. Look at that. Little tiny, very stealth push-off by Coleman. Totally excellent work by Coleman. Getting free.
Well, he runs routes well.
He runs right. That's why I was saying, Nick.
We know about him over the top.
But that's what I said earlier, that his route running on the short slot-style stuff,
we saw it there.
Patterns, we saw it there, has really improved over the year.
Had over 100 yards in the first half, had the big touchdown to tie the game late in the fourth quarter, and almost won it there for Team East. Heenan over the middle, incomplete. Trying to hook up in the end zone with Cawthron, but overthrew the big target from Pelham, and now a third down and goal from the 15
and
on the way.
And that penalty is beginning to loom large because now you're looking at about a 32-yard field goal if they don't get any yardage here.
So, 3rd and 15. I think also, Steve, the penalty kind of took the run off the table.
Yes.
As well.
Absolutely.
1st and 10 becomes 1st and 15.
So,
and now Coach Lozon wants to talk about it here with an upcoming 3rd and goal from the 15.
So each set, you get each get a timeout.
That sounds right.
Because Jimmy used a timeout, didn't he? Or was that Kip's timeout that he used in the first set? So do you get one the whole overtime, or is it one per offensive set?
Another good question. Right now, the scoreboard is saying zeros. in terms of timeouts left. So
I think they each used their timeout.
I think Jackson may have used one during the first OT, and now here in double overtime, Coach Lozon is going to use it. Again, third down and goal. So really everything on the table, right? You only need a field goal to keep this thing alive.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have an eye on tying the game, maybe run the ball here to shave some distance, or
that's what I was saying.
Are you trying to get close to the end zone and win this?
It all depends on your kicker. I mean, is 32 yards a 94% chance, or is it a 68% chance? Well, if that's the case, you got to run the ball or do something. Take a little bit of risk on getting something inside a little closer. If 32 is no problem, then you make sure you whatever you do, you're in the center of the field.
I think we'll get a better idea of what they're thinking here.
Yep. But we know with Brady this wouldn't really affect them much at all.
But Ethan Moss is the East kicker. He did connect on a 22-yarder to begin the second quarter.
So clearly he's okay.
Heenan wants the kill shot instead.
Oh, that's the game, right?
It's knocked down and complete.
Oh, I thought it was intercepted.
Almost intercepted in the corner of the end zone by Trice Cody. Son of a former head coach and a former ball boy at this event a decade ago. Makes a huge play there for Team West.
And made even a bigger play against Dom Capetta when he came in and cut down that run. It almost seemed like it was going to be automatic. And he came in and he took away the base of Dom's hips.
Yep.
And he was able, with a little bit of support, to make one of the biggest plays in the game.
All right.
Here we go.
It is going to be a timeout. First, Steve, so you were right. It's one timeout each possession.
Yeah.
So Team West is going to use it here to try to
say it
ice
was
the
right.
kicker.
I'm not sure I was right. I just didn't know what the heck I was talking about. I wasn't sure.
You were right.
But,
so the pressure on.
Nick's always good to his column, man.
Ethan Moss is going to face a 32-yarder here. And again, already a 22-yard field goal and an extra point under his belt.
Absolutely.
It's been a fun one. Team East looking for their first win since 2019 when Coach Lozon guided them to a 17-13 victory. A win for Team West tonight would be their third straight and their 8th in 11 tries in the all-time series.
Well, the obvious is Kip Call uses his timeout in this situation because he has it. Try to get the kicker to think about it a little more. What do you think he said to the guys? Is there any strategy, any play in this, Nick?
Doesn't look like they're going for the block because they got 5 guys off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're basically going to say go for it.
32-yarder to keep the game alive. High snap, but a good hold. The kick is up and no good.
Whoa, West
it's wide left, and the West has won it here in double overtime.
Unbelievable.
Team Maroon down there celebrating after they prevail 13-10 in double overtime. What a game. One of the more competitive, dramatic games that we've seen all season.
Nick, what a hard-fought battle with so many momentum, twists, turns, in-betweens. It was even. It was West up. It was East up. Coaches very involved in the game. Timeouts. The thing that just rings true here is how evenly matched this talent really is against each other. But without any doubt, with overtime, 13-10, this is a defensive battle, right from second one to the finish line in overtime.
It really did have the feel of the 2013 game, which was a 13-7 final. And I believe also in double overtime, where there were some stops down at the goal line, some turnovers inside the 10, and all in all, both teams leaving it out on the field in the extra session. And in the end, it's Team West for the 8th time in 11 tries, the last team standing by a final of 13-10.
Well,
now the MVP, Steve, is really going to be a whole other question to consider, as we're going to send Steve down to the field now for a word with whoever you can find down there.
This has been a joy to do so far. It ain't over yet.
Whether it's a player, a coach, or an administrator, we're going to send Steve down there right now. So Team West, meanwhile, gathering for a team picture following the victory. And again, the awards ceremony getting set. See a good embrace there. Coach Lozon speaking with members of the opposing coaching staff. And, of course, good sportsmanship being shown from both teams. This one was a fun one, as we've got the MVP already coming up. I'm going to wait a moment to announce that, but I've got the answer right here in my pocket. And, again, it really could have gone to a number of players, really on either team, but I'll give you a hint. The MVP is going to be from the winning team, Team West, but we'll await for that live presentation here, which is on the way. Recap. Team East won the coin toss, elected to receive, drove the ball down the field all the way to the 6-yard line, but fumbled the snap. Their lone turnover of the first half cost them, and we had a scoreless first quarter as a result. First play, though, of the second quarter, Team East does get on the board. A 22-yard field goal from Exeter's Ethan Moss made it 3-0. Team West, on the final play of the first half, they connect on a 35-yard field goal from Bishop Brady's Chris Messmer, And Messmer tied the game as the buzzer went off. 3-3 was the halftime score. And then a lengthy drive from Team West out of the gate to begin things in the second half, as Team West marched down into the opposers' red zone, but turned the ball over on downs. Took nearly 8 minutes off the clock. Meanwhile, as we look down on the field, Coach Jackson being held hostage and now is going to get the Gatorade shower. Saw Coach try to escape, but you can't run away from the inevitable, as his players made sure that he gets the on-field shower at the 20-yard line. Congrats to Coach Jackson and his staff. And to kind of recap, or finish up the recap, fourth quarter, game still tied at 3. Team West took their first lead. Just over 4 minutes gone. Romello Hyde, a 1-yard touchdown, 10-3 West on top at that juncture. And then Team East with inside of 4 minutes to go. Heenan to Coleman. We've said that over the years. The Londonderry duo connect on a 4th and 10 from 20 yards out. 10-10. Our score there, the final 3:44 goes scoreless, and we go to overtime, where Team West came up with a big stop at the goal line on a 4th down, and then Team East comes up with a blocked field goal to stay alive. We head to the second overtime. Team West this time gets the ball first, and they get on the board. Chris Messmer, a 23-yard field goal, 13-10, and then, as we saw a moment ago on the final play of the game, wide left for Team East's Ethan Moss, and that is all she wrote. 13-10 is our final score. Again, Nick Anastas, Steve Beals with you. Steve making his way down to the field. And you can see him there live. Well, he's actually at midfield right now. We've got the game's founder, Nick Valis, of the Bedford Ambulatory Surgical Centers down there, along with some other administrators. And again, the post-game ceremony about to commence. So let's go down to the field here for the live presentation for the Bo Dixon MVP Trophy.
Yeah, I'm ready. By Dr. Keith Lau, physician in chief of Dartmouth Health Children's. And by Jay Fallon, who represents the Joe Utica, New Hampshire chapter of the National Football Foundation. This year's Bo Dixon MVP from Team West.
You're on TV.
Number 99. Congratulations, number 99, Toby Brown Jr.
I'd like to thank my coaches. They put for 2 weeks of practice. We looked like a team that's been together for multiple seasons. Everyone came together was amazing. Obviously, we have fun, but the cause is bigger.
Okay, and now Nick is joined by the director of Dartmouth Health Children. Winning team. This year,
is key.
The cup belongs to the Maroon Machine.
Let's go!
Congratulations again to Team West, the Maroon Machine, champions of the 11th annual CHaD East West High School All-Star Football Game. Powered by Surgical Centers. Once again, congratulations to all the players, coaches, families, committee members, volunteers, and staff who made today's game possible. And what a game it was. 2 overtimes. Players, we hope you enjoyed the All-Star football experience. And we wish you the best in all of your future endeavors. Fans, thank you for being a part of this special day and for helping us raise money for the kids, families, and programs at Dartmouth Health Children's. Your support is vital in everything we do. Thank you for coming this year, and please drive home safely. And if you're around anywhere this fall, please go out and watch a high school football game somewhere. Thank you again.
We good? No.
Stay right here, guys.
Oh yeah! Oh wait, no. I got a cramp! I'm gonna cramp!
But he holds strong. No, I'm gonna die from this cramp! 20 seconds.
Bring the trophy this way.
This is amazing!
No, I'm here. You want to get off me for a second?
1, 2, 3.
Hi everybody, Steve Beals here, down at field level. I have with me the founder and the workhorse behind and the leader of it. Nick Bayless. Nick, great to have you with us. I have some questions at the end, but I'll give you the mic here and tell us what this has been about leading up to this. How you feel right now?
On the other side, one final interview for you guys on sportspage.com. Congratulations on great high school football careers. And this was a great way to end it. What a game. I mean, it was kind of a defensive battle for a while. For a couple of touchdowns scored in the fourth quarter. But it comes down to the field goal.
It's a great mix. About serious elements of what this is all about. What went into that?
We attempted it about 4 years ago. So with that being said, we tried it. We thought it was a good idea.
50,000, total 200,000, 25% local.
Were you surprised that they had wonderful game.
And when you've got 15-minute quarters and you go double overtime, how about the tenacity and stamina of these young men out in this field? Because they're hitting that hit by Price at the end of the game on competitive, grab the hits and stop him getting into something else. I mean, no question, we're going to talk about the fact that the fundraising and what this does to people. But the energy and the fight that these guys had against each other and the desire to win, coaches and you must be elated at the whole event, at the whole, how it turned out. You couldn't find a better game for football lovers. We'd love that.
Sorry. Some football.
It's crazy. And the friendships and relationships in football go way back. And football is alive and well in New Hampshire, and this game is part of that. Something at the end to cap it all. How do you suppose these guys feel? If you were a player and played some big football in your day, how do these guys feel knowing this is probably the last time they'll be together as far as on football?
But I guarantee you, Steve, they will not forget that. And we also memorialized the winning
what happens is, what is the big $2.5 billion over 10 years raised? Where do these funds go, and what do they do for these young people?
Yes, that is definitely one of the factors that we got in this game, right? But the question is,
by insurance, right.
And also try to make them stay in the hospital feel less like hospital.
Absolutely.
And it's pricey.
So it's overnight stay. You talked about gas cards, room, meals, babysitting for the family at home that can't be there, and to bring that child into a really strange environment. And imagine provide those resources for families so average people don't go broke trying to be there for their child.
Exactly.
At a very critical time.
Health is not turning away anybody. And, how fortunate are we in New Hampshire to have a world class?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Nick. We've known each other for decades here, and I know you're a big private sector guy. That private sector needs to come together, and those that have need and leaders need to come together and work. And this event is culminating in the essence of that, Nick. And it's just as strong now, if not stronger than ever. So, hats off to you. Any last words as we move on from here? I can see the smiles on your face. It's great to see. A lot of hard work by people.
Kids playing for kids.
Yeah.
And playing football for kids. Huh?
And you can see that nobody wants to leave here. They're all over the place around us.
All right. We're lucky to be. We are blessed to be a part of it.
Yes,
Thank
we
you
are.
for all you're doing.
We love doing
Thank
it.
you.
And Nick, thanks for your work and your efforts. You look great. And how is it to have your two boys out there and coaching staffs getting involved as well?
Fills
Andy
my
and
heart.
Jimmy, great boys. Great boys.
Fulfilling. Thank you.
God bless you and everybody that works in this group, coaches, players, and the work and effort. They're going to be better people by playing this game and going out and raising money.
Absolutely.
And understand they can make a difference at any level. So with that, folks, we'll take a break. You'll grab the head coaches if we can. Nick Valis. Without Nick Valis, this event doesn't happen. He doesn't care about that, but we all do, and we appreciate your efforts more than you know. So we'll be right back. We'll try to get to the head coaches on both teams for you.
Thank you, Steve. That, again, was the game's founder, Nick Valis, the founder of the Bedford Ambulatory Surgical Center, is now over a decade strong here with this tradition of the CHaD East-West New Hampshire High School Football All-Star Game. A game tonight won in double overtime by Team West, 13-10. Some final numbers. Team West, how about 53 rushing attempts for 208 yards? Team East, 92 yards on 36 carries. Total offense, 59 snaps for Team East, 268. 72 for Team West for 292. Each team had one turnover, and the time of possession was pretty even. A slight edge for Team East, 30-37 to 29-23. Third down defense was big both ways, as Team East went just 2 for 15 on Third down, Team West 6 of 17. And the fourth down defense was pretty good as well. Team East 2 of 5. Team West 2 for 3. All right, more stats in a moment. Right back down to the field for another interview. Steve Beals
here with
Roger
Jimmy
Brown
Lozon, the king of the East
Coach
this
Lozon.
year. What a football game, Jim, that both of you coaches put together. How do you feel right now? Obviously didn't win the game, but the cause that this thing is for, boy, you talk about living up to the hype and exceed it. Essentially, what, 55 minutes of football, incredible football. How you feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the kids, but for our kids at East, but because they left everything out there. But
boy, did they ever!
Yeah, it was great. Could have went either way, and but at the end of the day, it was hopefully we put on a good show and we raised money, and that's really, I think we accomplished both of those things. And obviously, as a competitor, I wish we came out on top, but I mean, there's really, you couldn't give them a better game.
Absolutely not, Jim. Nobody. The defenses. I mean, the defenses. The twists and turns of this game, where you felt as though the momentum would shift back and forth. You kind of knew it was going to come down to maybe the last minute of the game, but it wound up going double overtime. What do you have to say about the defense? A week and a half, 2 weeks to put this kind of play together. What goes into that, and why do you think these defenses are just so strong on both sides?
Well, I mean, I felt like we had just a great linebacking core. I knew it from the moment we picked the team, and I was just, if everybody shows up, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. We moved a couple guys to the outside because we had so many good inside linebackers. They're great sideline to sideline. So I had a funny feeling we would be pretty good on defense. And, and Kip's guys always do a good job coaching their guys up. And it's only so much we can do. We can't really take too much credit because these kids, like, those are instincts. Those are things that they've been taught over the last 4 years. And in this game,
but there was very little motion penalties, very little mistakes for a week and a half. Just tremendous football.
They did a great job buying in on defense, really picking things up.
Jim, what does it mean? I grew up with two boys and children across the state. What this means to families with people. I know that you've dealt with that personally. Nick and I were talking about a little bit in the beginning of the game. What does this mean to people, and how important is this to give to this organization, CHaD?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to be a part of it originally because I wanted to be a part of anything big going on in New Hampshire football. And then, not this past winter, the winter before, we had our own experiences where we were in CHaD. And, it just kind of changes your perspective on things.
Yeah,
and
realize how important it is.
Yeah, and, we all know it's important, but then when you're really facing it, and, my son was sick and he was there in bed and, but they're trying to keep his mind off it. He's playing Madden and he's got movies to choose from.
He's got resources around him to help through the experience.
Things that this game has provided.
Absolutely.
And you see it up close and personal, and it's just, obviously no one wants to experience that, but when you do, you realize how important things
And he's doing well.
And he's doing well.
Praise God for that.
Yeah.
The last point, you are a players coach and you love your players. How does it feel to say goodbye to Coolman, Drew Heenan, Pemberton, so many of these players that have meant so much to you and you've had so much involvement? How are you feeling about that right now?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had a few more in this game, and I'm not good at goodbyes, and that's one of the toughest parts about coaching high school football is sorry, I thought my son was pulling the wire.
Nope.
The toughest part is you got to kind of get used to saying goodbye all the time. And It's just not something I'm good at, and I'm going to miss those guys. I'm going to miss them on the field, but I'm really going to miss coaching them.
Yeah,
I can be hard on Pemberton. There was a day this week where Tavares just tore him up all day, and I was all over him. I told him,
he knows you love him.
I hope you bought Tavares a Happy Father's Day gift, because he absolutely owned him.
He made you better.
But my guys take that. They're used to it. They're used to my coaching style, and when they embrace it and joke back with me and stuff, it's just so fun to coach those guys. And I'm definitely.
Well, Jimmy, it's great. I'll tell you what's fun is to have guys like you making these sort of dreams come true for so many young people, and that goes for so many of your partners in the coaching guild in this state. Yeah. Football's strong, better ever. You're a big part of that, and I just want to personally thank you for that.
Yeah,
and the quality players that you develop is just a lot of fun, and your staff. Both staffs supporting you and Kip was just something else.
Yeah, no, and we had a blast. Our guys are young and energetic, and I think that caught the kids' attention throughout the week, and they're like, wow, we get after. We're celebrating, we're having fun, and they bought into that. But thank Nick Vallis for everything. But obviously
absolutely.
Allowing me to coach
Tremendous.
in this game, and he was pretty persistent. He wanted me to coach in it, and I was unsure, but at the end of the day, it was like, I do owe CHaD and for everything they did for my son, and we wanted to be a part of it. And everything's to the kids. The players deserve all the credit. We could only do so much in 8 days. Congrats to Kip.
Yeah, young men need older guys.
My dad's watching right now. I just wanted to say I hope he's watching. And
quite a young son you got here.
Stay strong.
Yep, absolutely. A lot of people watching tonight, which we appreciate. Brings more people in, and hopefully it'll help raise some money for this organization.
Absolutely.
Jim, as always, thanks.
No, thank you guys.
Remember
Thank
now,
you.
it's only a couple months away. That's the nice thing. You know, you got a
Two
whole new
losses in a
crop.
row, man.
No. That's gonna.
I gotta get back to
Don't
work.
worry about that.
I
Bless you,
appreciate it.
brother.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with Kip Jackson. He is around here somewhere. Do you want us to stay live, or we'll cut? We'll cut. We'll be right back.
All right, that was Coach Lozon of Team East. In a good mood despite his team on the wrong end of a 13-10 overtime final score. Some final numbers. His quarterback at Londonderry, Drew Heenan, ended up as Team East's leading rusher, 71 carries on 16 yards. He also went 10 for 21 through the air, 172 yards and a touchdown pass. It was a big night for Londonderry. Andrew Coleman, 7 catches, 153 yards. That included a touchdown in the fourth quarter that tied the game at 10. He also had a long 55-yard pickup through the air in the first half. So Coleman ends up 7 catches, 153 yards. Defensively for Team East, Nate Pedrick, Evan Korosky, and Jake Fredericks all finished with 10 tackles. In the case of Korosky and Fredericks, 2 of those were for a loss. On the other side, the high man for West, Matt Sanasuazo, 100 rushing yards on 22 carries. Romello Hyde finishes with 76 and a touchdown on 16 totes. Sanasuazo through the air, 8 of 19, a couple of interceptions, 84 yards. And the high receiver was Colby Snow of Bedford, 2 catches for 40 yards. One of those was a 34-yarder. Defensively for Team West, Jack Peters was the high man with 7 tackles. Toby Brown Jr. ended up being the game's MVP, 5 tackles, 1 sack, 3 of those tackles for a loss. All right, final interview of the night. Let's go downstairs with the winning head coach, Kip Jackson.
Steve Beals here with the winning coach in the CHaD game, Kip Jackson, who we know well, have been following quite a run here the last 4 or 5 years. Kip, what a game tonight. How do you assess this, and how are you feeling right now?
Well, I feel great other than I have no voice, but it was
I bet.
but I mean, it's great for the kids that got to play not only an extra game, but they got a couple extra quarters also, basically, and I know it allows some additional exposure for high school football in New Hampshire, which I think is great, as well as raise money for people in need.
Well, I'll tell you, the people that were watching tonight out in that weren't here tonight, great crowd, by the way, and the people out in TV land was a large number. We get that on there, so that's all good for high school football, but most of all is good for CHaD. You guys put on a heck of a performance defensively. Offense and defense on both teams was fantastic, but the defense really on both teams shined. What went into that? These guys were flying around just incredible. Just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Lilly did a great job putting together the game plan. People think we just started 8 days ago, 9 days ago, but this starts at 7 months, picking kids.
Getting preparation?
Yeah, picking kids, trying to figure out who's going to fit into a different style of defense or offense, and then doing some game planning from there based on, what our opponents are going to do. But he did a great job with that, and he's crazy. He did a great job with that, and I think the kids were prepared and definitely wanted to be out there and play physical football.
One thing, just more on defense, that you always talk about hitting at the pad level, playing football at the pad level. To me, I was way up there, but what I saw was a clear demonstration of playing football at the pad level. Would you agree with that? And do you guys work on that as a group in the short period of time you had with us?
Yeah, we did, but in all honesty, we're coaching some of the best players in the state, if not the best players in the state of New Hampshire, and they're well coached, and it showed during our 8-9 days together. It was great to be able to coach, kids like Baker and Brown,
Great
just to
group of
name
guys.
a two. We were talking about Emery.
Yep.
Just seeing him at Keene for so many years and just having the opportunity to coach him was incredible.
One-man
Oh,
gang.
he's such a good
very
athlete.
Will Fork-esque at the nose.
Exactly.
Just
that's a great
double
comparison.
gapper, plays double gaps, just destroys, gets in the center's head. I actually think he was in the center's head in that snap there because he was winning the battle big time. Let's go to the offense. I thought it was very, what appeared to me up from there looking down, a courageous offensive move to move away from the fast-paced spread and recognize what was working for you guys. How did that get into you guys? Because you changed your game plan. You had two tremendous running backs and a quarterback that can do it all. What went into that? And I just thought it was a courageous move.
No, I mean, it also was based on the kids that we selected. So we had ended up with three really good tight ends that were pretty heavy, and it allowed us to play a heavy game, heavy running style. And obviously with Bellavance and Hyde, that gives us some heavy backs. And then with Seneswaso, thankfully I coached him into CHaD. I now can pronounce his name correctly.
Right.
He's also a really powerful runner. So that just all fed into the game plan that we had.
Yeah, one thing as far as CHaD is concerned, I mean, such an important part, have a good game and everything, but how does it feel to be part of raising $300,000 to help young people and families who truly are in need for those expenses that insurance doesn't cover? How do you feel about participating in that? Loaded question, but I know that's you, Kip.
Oh, no, I think the best part of this game, obviously, is us being able to raise money and to help families in need, but also for the kids to really gain an understanding and perspective on being selfless, as well as the fact that there's always somebody that can help out.
Amen.
And I think our kids really grabbed onto that, and something we talked about a lot during the week we were together.
All right, last question, kind of a joke a little bit, but how do you coach Robin Bouquet and Coach Hammond at the same time?
It's a challenge. That's a lot of energy. No lie, but great guys, great coaches,
great offensive minds.
I learned. And that's one of another major reason that we try to get involved in games like this is to really be exposed to some of the greatest coaches that are in the state right now, and also coach against a really great staff.
Absolutely. Kip, you're a class act. I really appreciate all the effort. Watching and enjoying Merrimack play the kind of quality football they've been really working towards the last, and really a team that was an upset monster last year to a great degree. How are we looking so far coming up, moving on, coming into the season?
I have no idea. I think we'll be a solid team. We lost a lot of really good kids. Hyde, Turley. We lost 4 of our offensive linemen. Trent Jackson, I just saw. Owen Sadowski. But we'll figure it out. Our kids will work hard, and they'll play hard, and we'll keep moving forward.
Sounds good. Kip, as always, thank you so much for everything you do for New Hampshire high school football and this whole guild of young coaches, that are just doing a terrific job. These young men. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the big win. You betcha. Glad to do it. All right, folks, well, that'll be it for tonight. We love bringing this broadcast. We want to send it back up to Nick to close out the show. Thanks, everybody, and hopefully we'll see you coming up on the football season this coming year. Nick?
All right, there's Kip Jackson, the winning head coach for Team West, following a double overtime victory. 13-10 is the final score. All right, I want to thank a few folks, including Nick Velas, the founder of the game, the founder of the Bedford Ambulatory Surgical Center, all the great folks over at CHaD, Olive F. Isaacs, who is the point person for CHaD. We appreciate working with them and getting us set up and ready to go. Always a red carpet affair here at St. Anselm. I want to thank Griffin Spencer, who made a celebrity appearance. Appreciate him, the former SID here at St. Anselm. And, of course, our staff here at Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. That includes the entire Beals family. My partner, Steve, the man behind the curtain, the director, Ben Beals, videographer, Matt Beals, and even Kristen Beals filling in behind the scenes and doing a bang-up job. Just about done here at St. Anselm. All right, want to thank, I guess, our friends in the media for helping out for the game as well. And we'll say for the final time, the final score, 13-10, Team West over Team East in overtime. It's been a presentation of the 2013 CHaD East-West New Hampshire High School Football All-Star Game right here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire.
presented by Beals Insurance.